Okay, we are live with some old friends in my regular friend Brian Master. Well, Angus is my regular friend too. It's just we've been off and on our YouTube lives, like making videos and stuff. We're kind of both trying to start again. I see you've been pumping out more content lately, Angus. And we're going to talk about Wonder Woman 84. And I'm honestly, you know me, Angus and Brian, I raged against the Lucasfilm machine with the sequel trilogy, but those days are past. This madman doesn't have it in him anymore. I don't want to hate on movies. I want them to be good.
Yeah.
I honestly had no intentions of saying I do not like Wonder Woman 84. It's bad. I thought about it because that's what I do too. I don't really. It's very rare that I change my mind on the movie. I kind of just know the first day. I know if I want to watch it again because I watch movies constantly, and there's just so many things with this movie. It's bad, and I also to criticize my DC friends. They're going too easy on it because we got all this hype about the Snyder Cut. Listen, did the fans make the Snyder Cut happen? Yes, but I think equally was the abomination of this movie and Birds of Prey together. And I like Birds of Prey. It's fun. I don't think it's great. What did you say, Angus?
I like it.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not good. But this film, besides Gal, if it wasn't for Gal Gadot, she really improved her acting ability for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's so much better. But this is it's just bad. It's just like the whole, and we're going to talk spoilers here too. So spoiler warning for Wonder Woman 84. The whole wishing thing, when I got to that part, I was like, okay, I was going with it. Okay, I'm going to become the device. I'm going to become the wishing stone. I'm like, all right, yeah, I don't like it, but whatever. No, that's all it is. That's all there is to this movie. And then the stakes are so, like, even Aladdin has more depth than this with the wishing gone bad or something, the classic. It's just, it's so subpar. It's so bad. And then, I take it back. Yeah, that's the easiest turnaround for, I just take it back. Everything's back to normal. Hunky dory. Wow, is that lame? I honestly, everyone's open to their own opinion. I just don't see how you could say this is a good plot. I mean, if you take that out, I see good spots in it. But I know Brian doesn't like the political messaging.
I'm not a huge fan. Okay, like I don't hate it. I kind of agree with certain art a lot. Okay, I didn't think it was bad, but I also didn't think it was great. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like your parents say, I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
Oh, yeah. I honestly said, I wish this was a better film. And I am, listen, I even checked in with Popcorn Planet. Just, they're having a nerd wars right now about it. I didn't see the one that who should not be named or I'll be doxxed. I can still say that. I'm still under contract. I can't say I can't even go. That's how much this madness brings. He doesn't like my opinion so much that he threatened to dox me, and the Signor stood right by him, along with some other old friends. That's bullshit. You never threatened to do that. I'm sorry.
No, but even line you don't cross on this platform.
Even the ones in the corner, that follow the corner, they're like, no, this is bad. Oh yes, Matt Jarbo. Hey, Matt.
Hey, buddy.
Cool. Hey, what's up, man? I don't have a lot of time because I have to go out driving here pretty soon. Cool. But I was like, I'll jump in for a few.
No, I honestly did. This time, because I was going to watch it day one, and I was so hyped about it, I didn't watch any reviews or nothing. I want to go in fresh. I watched your review, so I know yours and similar thoughts, but I think I liked it more than you did because I like Cheetah. This is bad. Like, it's really bad. Like, I cannot believe Patty Jenkins did this.
I can.
I thought she was more talented. And then my friends, I was on with Nicotina, ACS Universe, and Ryan last night. I was surprised at how much they're like, oh, it's a okay film. I'm like, they're full of them. I mean, it's the Snyder fans. We want to be overly positive going forward. I think you have to really Yes, and you said
Pull
the same
back a little
point I did. Is I'm a little concerned about the Rogue One movie. That's not called Rogue One. What's it called?
Rogue Squadron.
This Rogue Squadron movie. Yes, I'm concerned because the decisions in this film were bad, including my thumbnail. Which shout out to Film Gob, and my wife's like, "Yeah, I thought of that too." Now you might think it's funny, okay? Everyone might think it's funny to say if the roles were reversed, but if it was a woman character that a different love interest jumped into,
I think I was the first person to make that claim on Twitter last night.
Okay, all right. I don't know.
I don't know if it was first. I definitely made the claim on Twitter. I'm all like, they made Diana an R word,
right?
You know, they made her a person who committed sexual assault.
Yes. Yeah, we might say okay. Fine. I mean, every man for himself in the chat and on the stream that said, if that would happen to you, would you be okay with it? Just because it's gal.
Well, it's one of those things where if I'm not cognizant in the moment to like appreciate what I'm experiencing, then I would be very upset if I were to find out that like I had sex with Gal Gadot and then I was not in my own body. Okay. I'd be very upset. I would be like, that is. Because I want to be the one to do it in my own body.
Yeah.
You know, that's a reality.
That's a lived experience. I'm down for it.
You know what I mean? Like that's not something that can be replicated. That's got to be a lived-in experience.
These are my true brothers. I love my DC and Snyder Cut fans and your fellow YouTubers, but I do feel that they kind of go over the edge with the Marvel so bad. There is no Marvel villain.
No, there's only one. There's only one guy. There's only one guy that does the Marvel so bad thing, and that's Film Gob.
Yeah.
And for some reason, every time people are on with Film Gob, it ends up turning into this Marvel bash fest because God forbid they tick off the Irishman or Scotsman, whatever the fuck he is. It doesn't matter.
I thought he was Scotch Asian, like the Starburst commercial.
I don't know. He just talks like really low, and I have to crank my volume up every time. You know, it's just like that's the thing is Gob has established the narrative of hating on the MCU, so other people hate on the MCU. But it's like, look, the worst MCU movie is arguably either Thor: The Dark World or Captain Marvel. Mm-hmm. This is only
no Ant-Man and Wasp. That's the worst one.
No, it was the most inconsequential. Yeah. Even Captain Marvel was inconsequential, which is pretty sad if you think about it. But no, this movie is not terrible.
I was shocked. I was really thinking it was. I didn't think it was going to be bad. I thought at the worst it'd be a mediocre.
Well, like I talked to my dad about it today, and because my dad's not big into these movies, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I was trying to watch Wonder Woman 84 last night." I said, "Oh, did you finish it?" He's like, "No, because like everyone came over." And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, what'd you think of what you saw? And he goes, I was waiting for it to become a movie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's the biggest complaint that I've been seeing. It's really a poor design choice across the board. There are more plot holes. There are plot holes that I didn't even talk about in my video.
Yeah.
That people were bringing up in the comment section, like the whole thing with Steve being able to pilot the fighter jet. Like this dude is used to flying World War I biplanes.
Yeah.
And he's like, hold on, guys.
Let me just hop in this jet from the 80s.
Yeah. Like, where have you been for 60 years? Oh, you've been in the Matrix. Okay, so you just downloaded the code. It's a Warner Brothers movie. They could make it work. They could do that. The biggest, but the thing is, like, and they also like getting over to Cairo, which in essence, the Cairo scene made zero sense, right? Because like they go out to Cairo to go stop Max Lord, and then they don't. Okay. But then it's like the next scene, he's immediately back in DC. Mm-hmm. And then they're immediately back in DC. And apparently in an invisible jet that made it from DC to Cairo and back on one tank of gas.
Yeah.
And these are planes that are designed to only be airborne for like 30, 40 minutes at a time.
Well, it's invisible fuel, so we don't know.
Right. She magically waves her hands like she's in Hogwarts all of a sudden.
I mean, that was the least of the problems, though. I agree that was I think the going through the fireworks was cool. I don't think there's a really great way to do the invisible jet.
No, that was a cool scene, like to be able to shoot it like that, and like yes, I thought that was pretty cool. But I mean, like just and I can suspend disbelief for that, not a problem. I can suspend disbelief for Steve. Like, being able to fly this jet. I can suspend disbelief for like the vast
Right, and you have to do that for a lot of movies, especially
how many people tore apart Game of Thrones in like season 7 because of the
a ton of people
hopping
did
across, and then this one they're like, it's fine, it's just
yeah, like they went across Westeros in like from like literally like 2 hours, man. But like here, again, it's all dependent on who's making the claim.
Well, once it really got really bad with the wishing and the plot was when he's in the White House and then he's saying, "Oh, I have a device that's like kind of links people through TV." He's like, "Does it work?" Kind of.
Well, because they said like it physically touches, right?
That's
like it touches, and then he's like, "Well, does it work that way?" And they go, "Well, technically, no." But like, so they basically disprove their own argument. Like the president disproves of the argument.
It's like, and then the chaos is happening outside. It's like, oh my god, this is weird.
And he's all like, "Oh, I grant your wish, but I take your life force."
Yeah,
you know, and then
it doesn't make any sense how that benefited him if he's like falling apart giving wishes. But now it's like, then, if I give enough, then I'm back to like 100%. I'm like, wait, what?
Well, Angus, aren't you a Geoff Johns fan?
Jeff Johns.
Somewhat.
Oh, I was thinking of Jeremy Johns. Sorry.
Ethan Van Sciver, Geoff Johns.
What I've read of Geoff Johns, like Three Jokers recently, it's pretty good. But it's got a weird open ending, or it's clearly going to like it's open for like a sequel, which I think is already in the works. But the way it's set up from the New 52 or whatever into this, it's like, wait, what? Well, Batman knew all along. What the hell was this for? You know, so it's wonky. It's open. It probably shouldn't have been done given what it's piggybacking off of Killing Joke Alan Moore. But whatever. It was exciting in the moment following that trilogy.
I mean, but do you expect better from him? Or I mean,
I don't know enough about Geoff Johns' work to say yes or no. I'm still a comic novice.
Well, from what I know, I don't know if I'm exact on this. The films he's worked on mostly in the DCEU were this. Green Lantern, and he had big pull with turning into Justice League. Is there any other?
Yeah, because they came on in. He was brought in with John Berg to take over the studio, like April or May of 2016, when they were still in production. Because by the time Batman v Superman came out, they were already in production on Justice League in
Why
London.
did they delay Wonder Woman 84 the first time before all the pandemic started?
I don't remember why they delayed it, but they delayed it a bunch of times.
I think they kind of knew what they had.
Well, yeah.
I mean, us Snyder fans like to say, "Oh, we really put things back on track." But if they had an inclination and knew that it was this, and also this whole full slate, where some of the back end of this DC or Warner Brothers movies going to HBO Max same day, they may change. They wanted to project confidence, but I can see why this was on HBO Max.
Hey, Max, did you see any of that Snyder Randolph interview? Because he's a producer on this film. So, like, as much as I love Watchmen, 300, even Sucker Punch, I'm excited. I want to see what he's done with the 4-hour Justice League. That's all him. But I don't have a lot of faith in what I've seen of the trailer for Snyder Cut and him being attached to this. I'm just like, I really feel like he was just covering for this film.
I think if there's any failure,
he was definitely covering for this movie. He was,
and he might not have had as much. I mean, it also is very possible that they started filming and then he was taken off at the same time, where he may have had some. He might have helped a little bit at the beginning of this film. That's why it's all over the place too. This was also one that was right in the middle between when he left and Jeff took over, and I don't know.
He clearly had a lot more influence in the first one. It shows.
Yes. So I see your point there but then we have to go down every person in Hollywood that has a producer credit to blame them for it.
Well, I'm saying it's like people will be like, "Oh, this is Geoff Johns." Like Snyder was on.
I mean, this had nothing to do with Snyder's universe besides the score. It had some throwbacks to BVS score.
Well, this is my problem with like DC films in general. It was like they made Batman versus Superman, and then they were like, "Uh-oh." So everything after that is just like tonally different. Like
this was an absolute distancing.
like screams course correct. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I don't say this has any Snyder influence whatsoever, except producing credit and trying to.
Well, and the only reason why he produced it was because he cast Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, and he was a producer on the first movie, and so he's like basically a producer in name only for this one.
Yeah,
right?
He was like hyping it though.
Yeah, and he was like, and the thing was, is he's making the rounds, he's doing all the streams, which is awesome and amazing, but like, and he's kind of, you know, acting as like the PR company for Wonder Woman 84, which is just weird to me. Because, like, I know he wants it to do well because he clearly wants Gal and Patty to do well.
Right.
And I get all that. But the way I view it overall is like, all right, man. You know, like because he put out a question today asking about, like, on Twitter during the watch party about, like, how they did the R&D for, like, the whip when it was, like, blocking the bullets. It was going so fast. He was like, how'd you guys do that? You know, and I'm like, dude, you would know, like, predominantly because they took away her sword and shield. For the movie, you know, they gave her only the whip.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, they gave her only the whip, and then like, you know, and then what's really interesting too is are the people that are calling the movie anti-Semitic because of the Egypt scene when you have the kids that are playing soccer in the road, and like for one, that scene makes like that part of that scene makes no sense. Because you've got kids that are like literally, they're playing soccer in the road as this military convoy is barreling towards them in a desert, in like a flat desert scenario, essentially. And like they're hearing gunshots. Now, granted, in their daily life, they probably hear, you know, high caliber machine gun fire. But they're like, nah, we're in the road. It's cool. Like they're not, no one's like, car.
Yeah.
Dude, you just make me think that's like a cheap Spider-Man 2 ripoff.
Yeah, even my girlfriend at the fight scene with Cheetah looks at me and just goes, "When did they turn Wonder Woman into Spider-Man?"
I actually would have loved it if it was as good a quality as Spider-Man. Like I thought at the beginning of the mall scene, I was like, okay, it's a little cheesy 80s. It's kind of more like the original Sam Raimi trilogy Spider-Man when they go a little silly. I'm like, oh, I'm okay with it. But then I actually like the mall scene. I like Cheetah. My whole problem is just the whole main story point with the wishing and Max Lord. And...
The wishing made no sense. Like I know there's a scene where they like talk about it being like you know, the one demigod or god or whatever, the trickster, and like it. Then they go, oh, it's like a monkey's paw. But here's the thing: if Max is able to then wish himself as the genie, right, and that's this whole thing, he becomes the genie, and then he grants the wishes. And he takes what he wants. Like, what was taken from him when he made that call? Because if Diana loses her powers, and you know, and then Barbara loses her humanity, which I picked up on that like right away. You know, I'm like, oh, she's gonna lose her humanity. That's gonna be the thing. And then it's like, all right, well, took it?
And he had to know ahead of time to do that wish. Like he had to know. So he is so evil. To not only want more wishes, to know that it takes things away from people and only care about that flip at the end where just Diana talking to him, and he's like, oh, okay.
Oh, my son. No, I suddenly care about my kid.
Really evil person to not only say, I'm taking this, I want to become this because I want to take something from everyone in this world. Wow. And then I don't think they fulfilled that type of evil at the end.
Well, no, because here's again, my complaint was he is on this base. This is apparently a military underground base on an island, right? For the president. Okay, cool. He's there. He's doing his thing. He's at this point, he is more or less God. He's become that powerful. She convinces him to rescind his wish. And then he's like, my son, and he just runs away. Runs away. Okay, fine. And then the president's helicopter, Marine One, gives him a ride back to the mainland where he lands in some random field and starts calling out for his kid. And then that kid just randomly appears beyond the tree line. And then the kid's like, I just wanted you to love me. And he's like, but I'm a loser. You know, and it's like, okay. And then they hug. I'm like, oh, that's really sweet. But then like, I'm waiting for like the FBI to storm in and arrest his ass. And then
where's
they
the
cut
FCC
away
to tackle him, you know?
Yeah. And then like they just end the scene and then it cuts to the ending of the movie. And I'm just like, where's the consequences for the villain? You know, like Barbara.
And then everything's like destroyed in the world and the outside too. Like, okay, everyone just takes their wish back. Everything's okay. It's so weird.
Did the woman die? Like the one that the guy was like, I wish you would drop dead. And then you see her like, yeah, the woman's trying to perform CPR on her. So like, did that dude rescind his wish and then she magically reappeared? Right. And it's like, here's my question. Here's my major question. This is the biggest flaw of the movie. Going back to the whole Steve Trevor thing, two things with that. One, he was in the movie less than an hour.
Yeah.
Right. He was in the movie less than an hour and he was good for what he was in, by the way. I thought he was awesome.
Yeah, he did great.
But if, the whole body swap thing makes no sense because when the president of the United States in a weird Nixonian Reagan-esque fashion goes, I wish for more nuclear missiles. Right. And then he's like, wish granted. And then they go, oh my God, like all of these nuclear missiles just appeared. Yeah. So if an atomic weapon, a nuclear weapon in a military silo that is somehow connected into the grid can just magically appear. Why did Steve Trevor have to take over some random pendejo in the Metro DC area? Nothing about that makes any sense. Right. So it's like, and then at the end, when everyone rescinds their wish and then you see one of the nukes and the nuke just vanishes. Right. And you're like, okay.
Yeah. I couldn't wrap my brain around it. I was like, what? Launched them. I mean,
there's problems with the Endgame. I liked Infinity War. There's problems with the Marvel movies, but
dude, not to this level. Not to this level.
You're right. I agree. And I was also thinking, what DC movie do I think is worse than this? And I'm like, well, I'd probably rather watch this than the Suicide Squad. But
hell no. Suicide Squad is GOAT, dude. But Suicide Squad is actually a good movie. It is. There is a good movie in there. It is fun to watch because you have compelling enough characters. Here you had compelling characters that didn't really interact with one another. Yeah. You didn't really have any kind of scenes between like the White House scene was pretty cool.
It's a shame too because Gal was brilliant in this. Like she's much better actress.
Yeah, she flexing her muscles. Yeah,
I think Kristen Wiig was. They didn't give her enough. That should have been her movie as the villain. But like the little bit we got, I felt like it was like Michelle Pfeiffer's Batman Returns, like before she becomes Catwoman. It felt like very much like she feels, just kind of overlooked and whatnot, and you can really empathize with that. And then you throw in this Max Lord guy, who's like, "Hey, I'm the TV guy. I'm like a cheap knockoff wannabe of Wolf of Wall Street without anything compelling about me." And then you don't give anything to really beef him up to like.
I think he's better than Trump still though, even though he's modeled off because he has a redemption arc.
Well, I mean but his redemption arc is even in and of itself ridiculous because
it's all good, man. I don't care anymore. It's almost over, so
I think it's funny. Yeah. Okay,
I saw the Trump aspect of it, but it was more like. It wasn't really like a reality TV show. It was a businessman from the 80s. And that was, again, but at the same time, this movie it's called Wonder Woman 1984. Outside of just like some of the shops in the background, could it not have been set in like 2015?
I said that too. The only reason it's in the 80s is just so they can distance it from Zack Snyder's universe where things already happened or not have to address. But you still, how can you not address? Remember 84? I mean, when you're talking,
remember that one time that all those nuclear missiles launched randomly, but then they suddenly disappeared.
There's two things with 84 that pissed me off, and I was talking with in what do you call it? Like replies with comic tropes about this, where I'm like, this is the problem. Okay, so like you're using the 80s and you're saying, well, yeah, like this is an era you could use like nuclear threat and whatnot, the Soviets. And it's like, okay, it makes sense to make that a source of like meta conflict for the world, consequence and everything. But it was like a poor attempt at what First Class did amazing with like the Cuba crisis, interjecting that into this mutant conflict. They did it so perfectly. This one, it's like they had all this stuff to work with and play with, and they did practically nothing with it. On top of it, it felt like a shallow retro film where it's like it's only surface level. It's like, yeah, we're in the 80s.
Yeah, where's the music?
There's no music. There's no sense of like, this imitation or nothing about it.
I heard Blue Monday at least once.
Stranger Things first season, it's like boom, I'm in the 80s. It feels like I'm watching an older film with good modern technology.
I could have gone with the film that they were doing, even if it would have been a mediocre film, The Ball, and that, I mean, it switched tone after that. Like once Max Lord comes in and once he gets the stone, I was okay with it. I was okay with even Kristen. I like Kristen Wiig's character and Cheetah, even though they did the typical. Everyone hates me when I have glasses on. When I take my glasses off, I'm a bombshell. I mean, it's a stereotype. They've done that in all 80s movies. I was like, all right.
Yeah. Well, I made that comment to my girlfriend last night too. I'm all like, what strikes me as odd is like Kristen Wiig, I think is very attractive. I always have thought that. So I'm like, when they try to downplay her as like the nerdy librarian type, I'm all like, no. That doesn't work because she's still hot.
Princess Diaries,
They did a better job with that. To be fair, like they gave her a unibrow basically, and like her hair was all. They could have given her a hump, right? Maybe like Yennefer of Valkenburg from Witcher. She looked like the Hunchback of Notre Dame's younger sister, who fucked like a rock star, but still looked like that. And then they ended up making her like this bombshell hottie, and you're like, all right. And so it's like, but we see the transition there. She was horrible looking and people treated her horrible. Here it's like, oh no, I have glasses. It's like not another teen movie. Not another teen movie made fun of that, where they made fun of she's all that, and they like just took off the glasses, like, okay, all done.
And then I'm okay with all the cat calls too, because she's Cheetah. I know that was cheesy. I know it's dealing with 80s misogyny, but there's like a whole row of guys that all did it at the same time. Like, did you see what happened to the last guy? She ignored him. It's like way over the top.
Well, I think in that moment that was meant to convey that like she wants to be like Diana. She was like wanting everyone to like turn heads, but like that in and of itself was kind of dumb, because she's like, I want to be like Diana. I want to be cool. And the Wish is all like, oh, she's a goddess, right? But you didn't know that. But now you're going to become this apex predator human that for some reason, by the way, has no fascination with cats. Yeah, you have the cheetah print like pumps,
everywhere,
right? You have she had the cheetah print. She pointed out the shoes, that Diana was wearing, and I immediately thought to that line from BBS where Batman's like, "Nice shoes."
I just want to remind the chat right now that I think we're all past our movie hate in this group on this panel. We want to genuinely like products and movies. We root for stuff. I was just completely floored at how bad this is. And then honestly, the whole conversation about movie theaters and movies are art. I'm sorry. What I've seen that actually has been released on streaming that they've held back for so long, all of it has been bad so far. I started watching Soul. Soul's decent.
Soul's good, man. I love Soul.
I think it's more than it. This is the most adult Pixar movie. It's not like for kids. I don't see how a kid would like this movie, really.
Kind of scares me about Black Widow, though, right?
No. That actually, Black Widow holding off for theaters should tell you that they have faith and trust in the film.
That's true.
Like that is what it boils down to. They have faith and trust. The movie would have already been on home video right now had we not been with pandemic.
You would think that this was going to be the bold move for Warner Brothers, but it kind of felt like shovel it there, because I think they kind of knew what they had.
I was thinking today. Okay, so like, I started following Fandom through the bullshitters like 2017, and started making content say middle of 2018. At some point, I don't know if I already started or if it was around right before. I wish I knew what article he was talking about, but he was talking about how there was the problem of like Rotten Tomatoes affecting films and review embargoes and stuff, and how it's mainly like Warner Brothers was like a big company where it's like they're always trying to like keep reviewers from, like, they're embargoing them until the release to try to like not have the score affect people going to the theater. And it's like, oh, now they release the embargo with the HBO Max release. It's like, well, it makes sense,
Well, I mean, they wanted that for the same reason. They just wanted people to sign up for HBO Max, and I think they actually got quite a few people that have signed up for it for the month, and they're probably hoping that Wonder Woman will keep them around for more content, because there is a lot of good content on HBO Max. There really is.
Well, here's Sir Nerd, our good pal Sir Nerd a lot. For me, about the first half was really good, but declined from there. But it still has redeeming qualities. There's still good in here. It's just overall a mess.
It's not the worst. It's not the worst movie that's ever been made. It's one of those ones.
They laughed at me. last night when I was on ACS. I said I'd rather watch Birds of Prey over again than this. I mean, I like Wonder Woman better than I like Harley Quinn as character, but overall, Birds of Prey. I mean, it fell apart at the end, but overall, I think it was even better than this.
It was a more complete film because it had a cohesive story.
Right.
Yeah,
this didn't have a cohesive story.
Yeah, Birds of Prey had direction.
Yeah.
Or something so stupid. I just can't get around like these high stakes. There's like an apocalypse out there because everyone's getting what they want. And then, I'll just take it back. I mean, that is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. That's like a 5-year-old wrote it. Like, just take it back. Take backs. No take backs. What? How can you
nice job,
How can you take it? Once it got to that point, I was like, this is the stupidest shit ever. Me and my wife were looking at each other on the couch laughing. I'm like, really? I'm like, this is it? I couldn't believe it. I was shocked. I was like, I just take it back.
You know, another bad thing about this was like how they captured her like flight or super jumping, crap like that. You know, it felt like it was filmed in the same style as like the Dawn or Superman, and like back then, or like the old Wonder Woman or whatever. You know, like back then, you can give them a break because the lack of technology.
Like 5 minutes,
but like and they hover on these scenes. You know, it reminded me of like they're trying to capture like how Hulk in the 03 Hulk, you know, how he's like super jumping. It's like, well, that makes sense. He's the freaking Hulk. Wonder Woman, well, first of all, she's got the invisible jet. And secondly, you're like, wait, can she fly? Can she not fly? It's been confusing the way they deliver that, you know. Ever since what, BVS or the end of Wonder Woman?
At the end of Wonder Woman, she jumps off the top of the Louvre, basically. And
it's like, can she fly, or is she just super, strong? Gliding, from her jump, but then this one it's like showing, she can fly, or but then she has the rope to fly on lightning or planes, and it's like the way they deliver that's confusing, but just the style of it felt mediocre. It felt cheap. It felt like what you would expect a YouTube creator to do with lack of technology. It felt cheap.
Well, there's that, and they just he also, what is it? Or there's also like the song that they played during that sequence was like a song you hear in a trailer. Like Asiago in D minor. That's been a complaint by like film aficionados, are like, wait, you use the most overused song in movie trailers to like make the scene compelling. But here's here's the biggest FU in that scene, and this was in my review last night. Think about the chronology of that scene. She rescinds her wish. Steve goes back to the dead time. She gets her powers back. She's upset. She runs, goes full speed.
She's so horrible.
But hold on. Let me finish.
Okay.
She uses her lasso to attach it to the back of a plane to launch herself into the sky. Okay, cool. We watch her do the flying thing. We think she's following the helicopter going to the final battle. We see her over the ocean, right? We see her flying over the ocean, and then it cuts to the next scene, and she's magically turned around, gone back to Washington, D.C., gone back to her apartment to put on the golden armor to then go back out towards wherever the hell it is they are, because she somehow now magically knows. Yeah. Like the chronology of that scene is ridiculous. It should have had her leave and then like cut it again to where like she walks away, she's crying. Smash cut, she's getting the armor. Smash cut, she starts to run or whatever the hell it is. And then we see her flying again or whatever. They can like make it, because other than that, it was so stupid. And like, I'm sorry, the Linda Carter thing at the end was stupid too.
I love this, but it was real cheesy. It was real like she's like, wait,
I've done this before.
Right at the camera, like it was like looking. It's like a actor mistake, looking right at the And it's, I like Linda Carter, believe me, but I also.
Well, no, I'm glad that Linda Carter had a cameo in it. I just was like, when I'm watching that scene, I'm like, okay, that's Linda Carter, obviously. And then I'm like, but wait, she's also like the chick with the golden armor. Like I knew that was her.
Well, I want movies to be high art. This is not it. And the movies that were held back because of this pandemic that are now getting released, a lot of them are really bad. So even before the pandemic, these companies had big problems, and I think streaming has been improving, whereas movies are not. Well,
the thing is, though, so I mean, depending on the company, like Netflix, I think is a big problem with that. I was talking about that the other night with like Six Underground was like not a good movie. That was a Michael Bay at his most Michael Bay-iest, and like it still failed because the script wasn't very good. You had that new like Melissa McCarthy super intelligence movie.
That was fun.
I haven't seen it yet, but it's like you can already tell why that went to streaming.
Oh yeah, but it was actually pretty funny. It was just like hearted fun. Me and my wife watched it. We enjoyed it much more than this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I was gonna watch it yesterday. I asked my girlfriend, like, "Oh, do you want to watch this one?" And we put on Soul instead. So
Contraria and Zeno here. They called me Zeno last night. They're like, you just want to.
Yeah, they called him phobic. I was there. I was like, dude, but we're just being objective here, man.
He says a lot of DC fans are pretending to like this. I think they want to like it so much.
Well, that was one of the thoughts that came through my head. Am I going to have to pretend to like this movie?
I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this right now. I had that thought last night when I did my review because I was like, I thought like, okay, I'm a little afraid to post this video.
Yeah, because I want to be positive, but on the same thing, I was really disappointed.
And I start off by saying I don't want to be mad at this movie.
Right. I'm not doing a rage video.
Yeah, like this is not because I want to, whatever. This is, but the thing is, reading the comments, the vast majority of comments on the video are like, "This is trash." Right. And then like I did a live stream last night, and like somebody sent me a clip of Jodie talking about like her flying scene.
Oh, I can't.
That's so fake.
I don't want to get doxxed.
What? I'm just saying, no, like it just like they said, I just played the clip, like, okay, and he was like, he said he liked it, like, okay, fine, you know, but like, and then someone told me that like Dave Pena, the film junkie, was having trouble saying nice things about it, and a lot of the people that I follow on Twitter that are pro Snyder Cut, that are super pro DC, they've been quiet.
I was watching a little bit of the Popcorn Planet Nerd Wars stream earlier.
Oh, but you don't want to get doxxed if I say corner, but you're like, I was watching Popcorn Planet.
He wasn't on it though, so it's safe. I could talk about Andy Signore.
No, you can't. Andy Signore is the one who name searches himself.
Okay. Well, he said he would never dox me. I have that proof in a private DM. He would never dox me.
Yeah, he got what he wanted. Anyway, let's move on.
But the reason I'm not mentioning it to give, but the Nerd Wars, he's like, I can only find one person that liked this movie for this Nerd War. So it's like a lot of people do not like this movie.
Well, I think a lot of people are conflicted with it because I think like they want to like it really bad. And there's parts of it that they do like. It's kind of like The Last Jedi. There are parts of it. There are parts of it that I really like, but there are more parts of it that I don't like.
Yeah.
And it hasn't aged well. And this movie is not going to age well because you cannot sit there. Like, this is why the joke I made was like, this needs like a Snyder Cut. This needs to be re-edited. It needs to be trimmed down. It doesn't need to be expanded. Or if you're going to expand it, then expand plot points. But otherwise, like, trim this down. And then
Goldman. Oh, no sense. Okay. No, the most.
Hey, here's a question. Do you think that Patty Jenkins will get Benioff and Weist?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I do. I
got a feeling she's going to get removed. Yeah.
Yeah,
because she still has some goodwill. It's not like she made something. Oh, well, I don't know if this is this. I don't know if this is on
Wonder Woman 2017 and now made this crap when she has complete control. She even has control going forward. I watched the Grace Randolph video about that this afternoon. About like she's in control of Wonder Woman even when she's not making a movie.
I'll tell you what. Luke Skywalker is more dear to my heart than Wonder Woman. But if you're a Wonder Woman fan, I could see you with this being your Last Jedi. Seriously, it's like bad.
This is a movie.
I won't say that because it doesn't alter her completely. Like she could go on from this in another movie and be fine.
Well, it all depends. This should be at this point. This should be an Elseworld story. This should not be considered canon. This should be struck from canon.
I like The Last Jedi now more than I used to. I like it better than The Rise. So.
But no, I'm telling you guys, this is something that the fans should go. This should not be considered canon, like because for one, it doesn't advance Wonder Woman's story really at all. It treats her like she's been doing nothing but pining over a dead dude for 60 years.
Do you think they delayed it because of the quality?
No. I think
before the pandemic started.
I think it just like I think they were hoping maybe to find a better edit, or maybe they were thinking like June would be better because June 2017 is when the first one came out.
Someone said it's something about Frozen 2 is the reason.
Oh yeah, well because I mean it was supposed to come out in December 2019, and yeah, like that's the whole point is like remember like Thor Ragnarok opened up 3 weeks before or 2 weeks before Justice League. and nobody expected Thor Ragnarok to be as good as it was because of Thor: The Dark World. And so
I'd rather watch The Dark World.
Yeah. The talk around this movie was that DC has the balls to put Wonder Woman against Star Wars, and now you look at what happened. It's like, holy shit! I'd rather watch Rise of Skywalker any day than this crap.
Yeah, I would actually. Because it's a cohesive plot. It may not be the best plot, but it's cohesive. It makes sense. Like they do enough to maybe without the smoke
I'm
thing.
just so disappointed. Like I was gonna watch it twice in a row when it came out. I'm like, yeah, I can watch it the next day. I don't want to watch it.
I said to my girlfriend last night, like if we would have paid money to see this, I would have been so pissed. And like because 90 minutes into the movie, I was like, I'm done. Like I'm right. I can check out right now. I could pause it, come back tomorrow, and finish watching it.
I took a nap. I got about an hour in, took a nap, and then I watched the rest of it.
I got about 30 minutes in, and then I started watching again, and then I had to rewind it twice. I'm like, wait, what was this plot? What the hell's going on? They really just all around. Like
this was scheduled to come out right after Birds of Prey. Can you imagine if Birds of Prey and then this 1-2 punch?
Well, I mean, DC's had a bad year for movies, man.
Besides Joker, that's it.
Like people will sit there and go like Suicide Squad is a terrible. Like Suicide Squad is better than these two that came out this year. Suicide Squad is at least rewatchable. For if anything, for the personalities in it alone.
Goldman, the point of that Themyscira is that you can't cheat to get what you want. There's no shortcuts. And they applying it to even though if you wish for things or if it comes easy and then you don't earn it, it's not worth it. You take something away from yourself.
Yeah, it's not real.
Yeah, that was a good like explanation, for her growing up and like her ethos, her mind state as a hero. That was good.
Yeah.
I mean, the sequence was boring. I didn't give a fuck, but and we didn't get enough Robin Wright either.
At the same time, calling her a cheater is not necessarily fair. She found another way around a problem.
Yeah.
It wasn't like she was like, okay, I'm behind, I'm going to cheat in order to win. It was, I was knocked off my horse, it ran down the path, I have to catch it. And the only reason why she lost was because she didn't hit the marker. She went underneath it. But that wasn't like her intent wasn't to cheat.
Well, Goldman has a good point though. I got that, but how to apply the story because she didn't learn because she asked for Steve.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't think it was.
Yeah, but I mean, like, but that's I think that's again. Come on, that's her going like, well, this is one of those things where like you go to a wishing well, right? You take out a quarter and you just go like, you know what? I wish I had a hot girlfriend, a hot blonde Puerto Rican lady, and you flip it and you flip the coin and it lands in a. Right, it's in reference to a person, but it is yes, and so it's like I want a hot blonde Puerto Rican lady, and you flip the coin and it goes in there, and then magically you turn around and there's like Jennifer Lopez, and you're like, yes.
Cancer here loves Wonder Woman 84, and haters gonna hate. I'm not a hater, but I'm happy you love it. I really do. I think there's I think there's things to applaud in there, like Gal Gadot. Kristen, what's her name? Wig. I think there's some good performances. I don't think Patty Jenkins deserves applause though. And
I think for a Star Wars movie, for God's sake, don't.
Because I looked up her IMDb tonight, and this is only like her third feature film. So
wasn't
she did
the other one Thor: Dark World?
No, she did. No, she was going to do. She did Monster, which was good because Monster is more of a grounded. It's a serial killer movie. It's a good serial killer movie. But she didn't direct any movies off of that film doing well in the award season from 2003 to 2017's Wonder Woman. She did a bunch of TV in the process, but she never really did any movies. And so then she gets this whole property. And so Wonder Woman, the first one, I think because Zack Snyder had overseen the story and he was the exec producer on the movie and that was part of what he wanted to craft. She was definitely she was locked into a producer's idea. Here you had Geoff Johns basically go, F Zack Snyder, F that stuff. We don't want to do that. Not after Justice League. So let's go back. We're going to tell this entirely different story that's going to be bright and it's going to be actiony, which it wasn't because you had the mall scene. Which was it? I'm sorry. Was that a Richard Donner movie we were watching in the mall scene?
I like that small scene. I thought if it's the route you're going to go, do it. But then halfway through, it switched to something else, which is so stupid.
Yeah, when she kicked the dude into the drum and he spun around, I thought that was so dumb. And then like she like
winking at the girl and throwing her at a teddy bear, and
and then like stops and winks like shut the fuck up, right? Like
exactly.
And then the girl's like I ain't gonna say, and then everyone's like we didn't see anything in the mall. There might have been like 400 people here, but no one saw this really hot lady in like boob armor swinging around on a magical gold lasso, just like icing motherfuckers. You know?
And the black lady, how she's just like sitting at her table, like trying to like look like, am I seeing this? Like, really? Like you got people with guns and shit. Everyone's freaking out. And you're just like sitting at the food court, like, oh, something's going on. Like,
I didn't see that part at all.
Oh, man,
I gotta watch.
That was her mom. That was her mom.
Oh, right. I got it just was like so. And then my favorite thing too is like she takes off the tiara and she throws it and it like boomerangs around and takes out all the security cameras. And I'm like, that shit's recorded to VHS, right?
Yeah.
Like, did you go in and erase the tape, Diana?
I can't say you're all right about this. There are some Trump fanboys that are mad just because of the comparisons. I will admit that.
See, I don't even see it. It's like ridiculous.
I'm not mad. I just think
I don't even see it, so I'm not even mad. I'm just like, what? That's supposed to be Trump? I don't see it at all. It's just,
Zeno makes a good point here. Patty Jenkins is going to direct a Star Wars movie about a fighter squadron, but doesn't know how aircraft work.
Oh.
Oh, that is cruel, but that is very, very accurate.
She should get Top Gun 3. This is how good Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I here's the thing. Well, also the stunt coordinator from Wonder Woman,
jets.
the guy who was the stunt coordinator for Wonder Woman was not on this movie, which is why I think the action was like, it was mostly just people getting kicked in the walls, which is not hard to do. It's just like, and that whole scene in the White House too, when they're just like, like Barbara's all like, if you ever hurt him, I will come after, blah, blah, blah. It's like, what? Like, what? Like, okay. Yeah. And then there's Wonder Woman and she's like got like black eyes and she's beat to shit and she's all crying, and then she immediately like the next scene, her eyes are not, like.
I'm even disappointed with Grace. She was like, she was
chilling for this movie, man.
Oh yeah, she was like, and then she cried on camera in her review, and she's talking about the Steve Trevor and Wonder Woman scene where they say goodbye. She cried. I'm like, okay, Grace.
Oh no, that scene was good. That scene was good until all of a sudden it's like, yippee, I'm flying.
It's like, she Anakin Skywalker that thing out of there. Well, yeah, I thought the scene was good, but like the dialogue was spoiled for me on Twitter earlier in the day, so like I knew what he was gonna say, and I'm like, oh okay, but I still thought like again the fact that he was in another man's body, and they had sex. And like that dude at the end of the movie was all like, I don't know. She knows it's him.
Yeah.
She knows it's him. Mm-hmm. She lied to herself to believe that he was Steve Trevor. So like, she's like, oh,
that was my thing. I was like, it's not Steve Trevor. Like,
yeah, it's like they're, because they go back to the apartment and he's like, I don't know what happened. I woke up on this futon. I spent the morning like cleaning this guy's apartment. Like, okay. Like he says, I was, and then like how'd you find me? Oh, I looked you up in the phone book. Like some things don't change. Like, yeah, I mean, sure, Wonder Woman is going to be listed in the phone book, and did he know her last name was Diana Prince?
Yeah, I don't even know if he knew that from
right. He's like, hold on. He's like, okay, hold on. Hot Israeli chick, Diana. Can I Facebook search this? Is that going to pop up an algorithm change? There is just so many things don't make sense. I will say though, like the Pop-Tart bit was pretty funny.
Yeah, I like that.
When he's just laying in bed eating Pop-Tarts. Cause it's like, but it's like they know that it's not him and they still had sex. And like that dude didn't know. Like what if Diana got pregnant from
honestly, that? I was focused on other things during this movie. I'm like disappointment and everything. And I was like, my wife then said to me, and then watching you and Film Gob, and I was like, oh yeah, that is messed up. And if it was reversed, people might say, oh, these bunch of guys on a panel talking about that. If it was reversed, it would be a major talking point.
It would be on The View.
Yeah, the fact that Jezebel hasn't written an article about it, let me take a look here at Reddit's men's rights board. Let's see if they're talking about it, right?
I mean,
yeah.
I still don't know how I feel about it if it happened to me. But
but the thing is that at the end of the day, you still couldn't consent.
Yeah.
Right. And if the argument is about consent,
It's because it's Wonder Woman. It's okay.
Yeah, people are. Well, again, it's like every time you see the stories of female teachers having sex with younger male students, like the hotter they are, the more you get the nice. Right, but it's never the headline. The headline is never like teacher female rapes male student.
Oh, come on, Charlie.
Right? It's never that. It's never that.
I didn't say it.
You know, and so the headlines are like Wonder Woman like rapes random dude.
I want to
single-handed.
I want to click okay for monetization. Damn you, Jar.
Dude, you're fine. You're fine, man. If we're an hour, they only check like the first minute of the thing anyway.
Well, they still didn't let my last one go either.
That wasn't my fault.
No. All right. Thanks a lot for your insight, Matt.
I'm just saying, it's like if we're talking about like, you know, equality,
Yeah,
and you gotta like
true.
that's a word that they don't use. It's totally skewed when you have that particular dichotomy. When it is a hot woman and a man, it's never viewed the same way as like a man and a young girl. It's never viewed the same way at all. And so in this scene, it's like, yeah, if this was if the scene was reversed, you'd have like Grace Randolph out there decrying it as being sexist. She would be out there saying that
she didn't review Brightburn, and I know why, because like she was alluding to, you saw Brightburn, right, Matt?
I haven't actually.
Oh, dude, you should see it. You should see it.
I hear it's really good. Yeah, I hear it's good.
But she put out a tweet. You'll find my Brightburn review because I mentioned.
Okay. I'm blocked on Twitter by her, so I can't.
Yeah, but she put out something like, "I'm refusing to review this," and like some of the comments responding to people, she was alluding to like, because in the movie, the Superman like character, he is infatuated with this girl, but then people make fun of stuff, so he like snaps her arm, so there's like violence against the girl, and then he ends up killing her mom, and you find her later like brutally dismembered and shit. And so there's equal violence to men and women in this film. It's equal opportunity, but because it shows it to women, that I know that's why Grace didn't review this.
Yet she said that Kelly Marie Tran deserved the harassment that she got because she should have. Yeah, she said this was in 2018. She said that Kelly Marie Tran should have known what she was getting into when she signed on to Star Wars.
I didn't know.
That was a big hit. That actually happened in like, I want to say May or June of 2018 when Kelly Marie Tran left social media. Grace talked about that, and she more or less like victim blamed Kelly Marie Tran.
Wow.
So, you know,
she's
and then,
but she's an Asian. That's diversity. She's always on this diversity.
I have some other topics I wanted to cover too. I
like Grace, but she's all over the place.
Yeah,
she's insane in my mind. I've met her, and when I met her, she looked like disheveled, right? Like she looked like she had come off of a 2-day bender. This was at VidCon in 2018. And I was in the industry section, and so was she. And she like her hair was all like messy, which usually this is like more than usual. And like she like just looked like she was wrecked. Maybe it was jet lag. I don't know. I don't want to assume anything. But she had a handler. And the woman was like guiding her to wherever they were going. And I just said, I introduced myself real quick and said hi and shook her hand. But yeah, it's like she you know. She's a bit on the crazy side. And I, you know, it's like, I think at this point, she's kind of hiding behind this Pedro Pascal thing, you know, like with Mando, she's hiding behind all this stuff.
She might not be complete. She might not be wrong. There still might be.
Max.
No, I'm serious though. Like if it did happen, he'd still be on positive on his publicity and stuff. I could easily see that scene at the end of Mando season 2 where he takes it off for Grogu to be his influence of what he wanted. And I think it worked, but I can also see that wasn't maybe the original plan, that's something that he wanted. I could easily see that. I could, but are you, I'm in the middle. I don't believe everything on either side. I think there's a way that what she said could have happened. They may have worked it out, and then he's going to shrug it off like nothing happened. Just remember when Ben Affleck said, "I'm Batman," and everyone knew he wasn't. I mean, this is what you have to do when you're actors and your publicity and all that. Season 2 is being released right now. Of course, he's not. He's going to play it down. But it's also possible it didn't happen at all. I agree. That's a strong possibility too. Okay.
Well, I think in regards to what it is, it's not what she said; it's how she said it. and it's how she's reacting to it.
She needs this story. It's how
Yeah.
she's acting.
She's like, no, I know what I know this, and it's like, no, all the just haters, and she's blocking anyone who like mentions that Flashpoint video from like 2 years ago, where she was like, Wonder Woman 1984 is going to be Flashpoint. And like she actually
Flashpoint will get rid of this fucking movie, hopefully.
God, it wasn't Flashpoint going to get rid of like Snyder Cut. It was going to get rid of like BVS. It was just going to like redo everything.
Save Trevor for Flashpoint, where Diana can see him then, and that would be more impactful to me.
Yeah, people are saying that, and it's like, oh, you can't bring him back a second time. Like, come on, you've already done it and wished it away, rescinded the wish. You can't just keep plucking Chris Pine back in.
I randomly came apart. We're not going to watch the whole video, but I paused it because Robert Meyer Burnett was going hardcore against this movie too. And I know it's on Midnight's Edge stream, and I'm not subscribed to him. I don't know, like auto played because I'm looking at Wonder Woman stuff now. I thought I'd play just like a minute or two.
He's a fair guy.
Let's see.
Yeah, he's fair. Everyone else in that panel can suck it. Well,
yeah.
Jump again on what I would have done, but that's where I said the one flaw I felt like in the end of Wonder Woman is they should have made Ares her dad, and that way, even though she kills Ares, the reason why war continues is because she's still alive and she's technically the god of war now.
He's about
and that's why she feels guilty, and that's why she gets involved. And putting her in something like Vietnam would have been interesting, because then she gets to sit there and say to the Americans, "Look, you are in the wrong here." There's a very a lot of different things she could have done in that era, and like guys were saying, with nuclear war and all this other thing, and she doesn't have a great rogues gallery, so you might as well kind of jump on the whole idea that she is a god, or or has gods.
All right, stop talking, dude.
Bad guys.
Yeah, dude.
You gonna say something? Yeah.
Well, it's just that look, this franchise began as a historical period piece, and so if you're watching a second film, the question is asked. I mean, you cannot tell me that Diana, who's now living in man's world, she hasn't had another love since Steve Trevor.
Right.
I mean, this is ludicrous. The thing about Tony Scott's first film, The Hunger, which came out in 1983, is about a vampire named Miriam Blaylock. All right, she's 2,000 years old. And every couple of 100 years, she takes a new lover. She's had male lovers, she's had female lovers, but it's about companionship. Because when you're immortal, life is lonely. And in that film, David Bowie is her companion, John Blaylock, who's been with her for hundreds of years, over 300 years, and he starts rapidly aging. But you see flashbacks into her life when she first met people, and she was in ancient Egypt. I mean,
like the Highlander.
What has Diana been doing since World War I?
Right.
Yeah.
And this is,
she's been doing herself.
Filmmakers have set up this expectation to the question
right,
is,
Matt.
You can't sit there and tell me that all she's done is loved Steve Trevor, that not one dude has fascinated her in the 60 plus or whatever, how many years since World War I.
Right.
There's been some amazing there's been statesmen. I mean, what would Diana be doing? She'd be traveling the world. She would be involved in all facets of human history, because she's just hanging out at the Smithsonian? What was she doing before?
Talking over the first guy she had sex with.
No, and like I brought up, like
right,
Highlander did it.
That's all. I mean, that's just one point. I just randomly caught that, and it didn't even. It wasn't even not only not continuity with the Snyderverse, but with the first film. You're like, this is stupid. Like,
well, they were trying to like treat this like it was like the first movie, basically.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, Connor McLeod was 400 years old. He's still knocked boots. Like, come on.
Good old Connor McLeod.
All he has to do is say he can't die, and the women just melt in his arms. I don't know what it is.
Baby, I can't die, but it also means I can't get you pregnant.
Even though Chris Pine did good, I didn't like that they brought it back. It was just like it felt like regurgitation of the first.
Well,
film.
they had good chemistry.
Yeah.
No, they had good chemistry in the first one. This one,
it
felt hollow. It didn't feel complete to me.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. I gotta run, but I gotta go out. I'll talk to you guys later on. have a good one.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I saw you, Matt. One thing I said in my review, because I'm heavy in red pill channels and stuff, philosophy, and there's this idea of the alpha widow, where a woman, no matter what good guy she gets, she's always going to pine for that guy in her 20s or, you know, her first high school love or something that was the alpha, you know. And I thought that was an interesting. I don't know if Patty Jenkins was like cognizant of that. And of course, it was probably main to the plot just to bring Trevor back. She's been pining for 60 years. But it felt weird that they were, like what Burnett was saying about, you know, like at some point this woman's going to move on because he's not coming back, you know.
Right. Chubby Ted, I actually would prefer that he were in it now, just in that mall scene, because he
could be the girl.
Oh, that would be funny. Let me see. Don't agree with Grace is decent. Okay. Let Max talk. That's the best thing that's been said all day. No. Blame Geoff Johns. I think you can.
The shoe fits.
I don't know how much is his fault and how much is Patty's. I mean, they're equally to blame. I don't think you should blame anyone else in this movie. I think everyone else did what they could. Pedro too. Can you imagine him saying these lines? He's like, deliver this line. What do you wish for? I mean, it's like it's a weird horror movie. What do you wish for? And then, I could even have gone with that if there were higher stakes at the end where things happened, consequences, or the way things get fixed. Is just, I take my wish back.
Magically wished away.
Take backs. I'm like, really? This god in Themyscira created this device that's so diabolical, and the way to fix it is I take it back.
Yeah. And that's why the Mayans didn't survive.
I mean, would it be more interesting if you have to deal with what you got and you don't get take backs or something like that? Oh, I take it back.
The movie would have been cool if it would have been about the monkey paw and seeing all the civilizations fall.
Yeah.
You could do a whole series about that. Oh, the fall of Rome because of the monkey paw. Fall of the Mayans because of the monkey paw.
Yeah.
Well, to me, it's eerily reminiscent of how I felt when I left the theaters watching Rise of Skywalker. It was just kind of like, okay.
We'll
go home now.
I prefer Justice League to watch it again. Like, even though I'm way on board for the Snyder Cut.
Oh God, I can.
Yes, Rel, I'm down. I'd rather watch that one.
No,
it's in it.
Das Vidania. At least some of it was funny.
They're all in it. I mean, there's some fun stuff. Ray Fisher's in it too. Cyborg, Aquaman. It's not a good movie, but it's a lot more rewatchable than this. Like if I watch this again, I'm gonna skip to the Cheetah scenes, and I don't even know if we're gonna watch the Max Lord stuff. What do you wish for? I'm like, well, this is so dumb. I don't get it. I mean, even comic book fans like, it's real comic book. I don't think it's a comic. What the hell? What a whiff.
Yeah, I see people shilling for Pedro Pascal, like, oh, he did so well. He stole this movie. It's like Pedro Pascal's best acting role is offset behind a microphone on The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
He did good in Game of Thrones.
My whole thing with the allegory for Trump on it, like, I'll explain it a little bit. Like, even the way he talked,
the bedwetter,
like
him.
And then, like, they at the end where they're like taking shots, it's like, okay, dude, how many cheap shots can you make against
a loser? Even when he's right there, I'm just.
That was the whole damn thing. It was like, okay, dude, seriously, just stop. Okay, like, you're beating it over the head, you're beating it to death. I mean, you did it with the Joker and Thomas Wayne, so it's like, yeah, just stop. Like, I'm glad, hopefully some of this will go away. But,
well, I mean, you can easily ignore it. What would they have done without the Snyder Cut? Without the Snyder Cut coming forward, like, they would be in big trouble.
Yeah, they'd be losing all sorts of stuff because nobody has interest in seeing this kind of stuff. Like I said early in the chat, it screams BVS, like, backlash.
Yeah, the Goldman. I might rewatch the first Wonder Woman because that film was amazing. I agree. At the end, that transcends. Like, you could get other people to watch it that aren't in the superhero films. Like, my mother-in-law even enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think general audiences are going to like this.
And my mother, I went over to help with because I've been helping my family a lot. I've been helping my parents, helping my dad. I went over I said, man, I told my dad too, Wonder 84 sucks. And he's like, I didn't watch it yet because I gave him my HBO Go so he can watch stuff while he's sick at home. And then I told my mom, and she was like, because I hooked her up with HBO too, and she's been watching all kind of stuff because they're both at home so much. And I was like, she's like, should I watch it? I'm like, no, I don't think you should. Because she liked the first one too. And I'm like, I don't think you should watch it. You would be this is
it kind of, I'm not gonna say it took anything away from the first one because it really can't, but like it doesn't bridge the gap. How could she be gone for 100 years but saving Washington DC in the 80s?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. That's just yeah.
The Goldman says, I could tell our DC fans generally pissed off. I think they're they want to like something that's not good, and they're kind of kidding themselves, even though we could go the campy route. Film is subjective. Someone might actually like it. Some of my friends are just overly positive about stuff and want everything to be great, which is great.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same way with like Star Trek and stuff, but
I can't do it. This is bad.
All right, this is a DC fan coming into my channel watching my review. I made a joke at the start for my opening. I said, "Be careful what you wish for, unless you're Kevin Feige," you know. And I had my Thanos glove, and but then I talk all about how, like, you know, I like the Snyder Cut. I'm looking forward to that. How this movie failed at everything what Wonder Woman set up, and like the chemistry of Pine and Godot and stuff. It's hollow. And he's like, you're a huge MCU fanboy, which is annoying as fuck. Like, you really love to kick us DC fans around like a bully because you have a successful universe and we don't. Can't stand MCU fans. One day, us DC fans will be on top, and I can't wait to return the favor back at Marvel fans. It's like, what the, like,
I like it all.
I want to like everything, you know. So like when I hate a movie, I'm going to crap all over because like I don't want to waste, like, even if I don't waste money, I hate wasting my time on crap film.
My wife has no agenda whatsoever. She doesn't like my rage videos. She liked The Last Jedi a lot. She loved Rise of Skywalker. And she's just like, oh, not again. Because she did this with Mulan too. Mulan was Mulan and this were the things she was looking forward to the most this summer before the pandemic.
Yeah, well, what do Snyder fans defend the most? The realism in the movie? How much realism did we get in this movie?
I think we just want to be excited that it's back on track because Snyder's back in it. But I think this is part of the reason Snyder's back in it. I honestly think.
Yeah, because I think they saw what they had and they were like, wait a minute.
Yeah. Yes. So even Goldman, I mean, Goldman does some great videos, great content. I want to have him on the channel again. But he does not like the trash films either. But he's like, wow, this don't make any sense. And I've been trying to get him into DC content. I got it. I think I got him. I'm the one that first recommended Avatar and Korra to him. I think I'm the first. I don't want to take credit. Someone else did. But I'm also was like, yeah, you got to see the Snyder Cut. He's open for the Snyder Cut. But the taste in his mouth, and probably other people that aren't really into DC, is probably sour with this one. I mean, let's just all hope the Snyder Cut's amazing, which I think it will be. And I don't think that Zack had much to do with this besides the producer. And I think I think he was signed on as a producer before, unfortunately, his daughter passed. And he was kicked off of Justice League, and they made it seem like it was a mutual thing, but it was really like, this is what we're going to do to deal with it. And it was the same time that he kind of left this film as well, but he kept his name, you know, but he keeps his name on it. It also felt like a different movie halfway through too. Like it was felt all over the place.
Yeah, it's definitely lends favor to the idea that this is why the Snyder Cut's happening. Is like, let's get, you know, we made our bed with you for 2.5. We kicked you out for half of this Justice League. So let's just go for that. You can be our Feige for the time being, hopefully, you know. Which I'm cool with. Like, you know, people think like, because I love MCU movies for the most part, especially like Thanos is my boy. But I like DC what Snyder was doing because it was a contrast tonally. You know, I can go for like the fun heroes and the good feel good message at the end of everyone. DC was like, you know, let's look at the just the dirt that a character's in to do this job. Even Superman, I like that. You know, look at how the world would view Superman, which is what Dark Knight Returns is like. You're looking through Batman's view of what Superman is to the world, the potential.
Andrew Casale says Wonder Woman 84 makes emo Peter Parker dancing seem like God tier.
Dude, I hope someone.
I hate that part of the movie.
I love that part. It's funny.
I hope someone.
The only thing it was missing was a paint can.
I hope
Staying
someone
alive.
does an edit where Diana's on the ground crying, and they do Parker's like, "What are you do? You gonna cry?"
Here's a good comment from the Goldman. The movie is weird because I didn't dislike any of the characters, but the plot made no sense. So I don't know how to feel. It's like it was so. I'm like, this is what it. At a certain point during the movie, I'm like, the wishing stone, and he becomes it, and he just is basically for the next. All he does the rest of the film is go around to people. What do you wish for? Do you want to wish for this? And then flips like a switch at the end. That's
man. Right there.
Yeah.
Well,
You're right. 187. We need The Rock for sure. Black Adam. Listen, The Rock is going to make that amazing. I
have to be good, man. At this point,
wanted it for so long. He's the driving force. That's the other reason. Besides the fans, I think the quality of this in Birds of Prey, even though I didn't mind Birds of Prey, the 1-2 punch. I think they knew what they had. There was a momentum on the Snyder Cut side, and The Rock coming in with his manager representing Henry Cavill, and he wants Superman and Black Adam to face off at some point. So yes, there's bright spots ahead. Let's hope in March that it's overly positive. There's no way in my mind that I feel that I'm going to be disappointed with the Snyder Cut. I will try to be as unbiased as I can be. I think everyone has bias.
Just be cautiously optimistic, especially given what we just watched. Like, I agree with Rel there. The biggest nightmare would be Snyder Cut being that bad.
Yeah. I don't see how it could be.
I'm waiting for the next trailer because the first trailer for the Snyder Cut, I'm like, this is what we're getting. Like, it just feels like, oh, what I saw in Justice League, We're just giving me more scenes, but it feels like Justice League.
It's like Star Wars, the special edition.
I like special edition.
We put some more dewbacks in there for you. Hope you like that.
I also wanted to comment on the Mark Hamill situation.
Yeah, fill me in on that because I don't know.
I don't know what they do.
We'll cut. Goldman may come in. We'll talk. We'll save the rest of the DC talk Wonder Woman when he gets on, if he can. But I wanted to come. I wanted to share this D-Day Cobra video, just a clip of it, where I think Mark went a little bit too far. The name of his video is Mark Hamill attacks Melania Trump for no reason. He's a terrible person. All right, so let's just watch that until Goldman gets on. And then Andrew, if you went on too, I know you've asked to be on. I don't know if the Grobnob's here still. Send me a Twitter DM if you want on, Andrew, to talk about Wonder Woman. But let's watch this real quick. Basically, it's about Trump and some Trump fanboys saying why they haven't put Melania, a very elegant first lady, on more covers like they did with Michelle Obama and stuff like that. And he's like, yeah, she's the most elegant. And then basically what Mark Hamill did is it depends on how you define elegant, and retweets her nude photos from when she did that kind of work. And people are getting mad at Mark, on SJW side, saying he's slut shaming her.
Yeah, I got blocked by someone on Facebook like a year ago because he's saying all this, even dissing like Buddhism for misogyny and this and that, but then he's like going after Melania for stuff like this, and I'm like, well, I thought you respect all women.
I've seen plenty of this in like the Fandom Menace or something. When you guys, I'm not saying you guys specifically, but when some in the Fandom Menace or very right-leaning individuals in the fandom do not like a celebrity, they will go dig up stuff that they've done and retweet scantily clad images of it. So it's the same thing. But I think either way, you have to call it across the board on either side. I think Mark Hamill should just delete this post It's in bad taste. I think he went too far. But
he was cockknocker.
Here's what Jeremy has to say.
What he's done, as the Joker and yada yada yada, and then I want to look him in his eyes and I want to tell him, I am a proud supporter of Donald Trump.
We know.
No, get out of here.
Of my lifetime. How does that make you feel, Mark? I can't wait to see his reaction. And that's
what you'd want to say to Luke Skywalker. That just shows what he's a fan of. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with, but is that what you would say to Mark Hamill if you met him? Do you care about that?
I wouldn't care to meet Mark Hamill, honestly.
Oh, really? Okay.
Hates my guts. I know he views me as beneath humanity. I know how he views me because I am a proud Trump supporter. And he views you the same way. Regardless if you agree or disagree with him, he views you in a way where if you agree, he can use you. If you disagree, he will shame you. That is the Hollywood mentality, and Mark Hamill is at the top of that list.
I do think this is a little hypocritical though, because they create celebrities like enemies too, and they have. I see him participating in dunking on celebrities too, with the opposing opinion, doing the exact same thing as this, to show the hypocrisy. So I don't like it either way, but I think he has a point there. I just wanted to, I'm not going to share a lot of his video. I just wanted to get your thoughts there. Was that going across the line for Luke's? That's not the Jedi way for sure.
I've had issues with Mark Hamill since I started following him on Instagram. Ever since Trump got elected, he's one of those celebrities that just has been for 4 years. And I don't know, man. It's just, get over it, man. Does he come to your house and piss on your front yard or something? I don't understand. Like, why are you so mad? Like, God dang.
Yeah, I'm a Trump voter. And I'm like, oh man, Biden's gonna win, but it's like I'm going on my life. I just watched Wonder Woman 1984. I'm crapping on that, and I'll move on to the next thing and enjoy or hate it.
I'm not gonna
I just live life. I got things to do. I just got a Blue Yeti for my computer. I'm waiting to get in the mail. I got things to do. I don't focus every day on
yeah, you got your chorus shirt on. Yeah, I love that series. I'm thinking about buying the Steelbook, even though let me see. Andrew might pop in here too to talk about Wonder Woman 84. Before we go on that, you could comment too. I know you don't like to get political, but do you think that was a little bit crossing the line what Mark Hamill did?
I didn't really see what he did. He posted pictures of who?
Of Melania Trump when she was nude, saying she's not elegant. That was in bad taste. I don't like that type of thing.
You probably shouldn't be posting pictures of any borderline naked women on Twitter in the first place. So
right.
Yeah, that's probably
or to make a political. Like, I love Mark Hamill, I do, but I think that was going.
I do. I think it was a little far, but
yeah.
All
right, but you're here to talk. You're not. I know you don't like to go too controversial, but we're here to talk about Wonder Woman 84. And I've been trying to tell you.
Yeah, what was she thinking?
And hey, Andrew. And I've been trying to tell you to get into the Snyder fandom. Does this leave a bad taste in your mouth going forward in DC movies? Like, you're not that into it right yet. You're interested.
Well, here's the thing. Like you said, it had good movies. Like, for example, the Burton Batman, Christopher Reeve Superman, the Nolan trilogy, even Man of Steel, and the other bad movies. Will this make me hate the Snyder Cut? Who knows? But this movie, man, I thought it was bad, but it was average.
Okay, Goldman.
My relationship with DC is interesting. Like, I don't think I'm ever gonna be a hardcore fan, but I'm always kind of a fan. Like, I'm gonna watch the Snyder Cut, definitely. I might wait until it's out as like a full movie instead of watching it, because it's coming out like week by week, right?
I don't know.
4 hour long episodes.
Yeah, so I'm probably
back to a movie though. I don't know.
I'll watch it once it's a whole movie. So I'm gonna watch it. I'm looking forward to it. This movie, I don't know. Maybe because it's hard for me to get really angry about a movie if it doesn't belong to a franchise I really care about. Thank God that hasn't happened to Star Wars with me. But I remember one movie I saw. I'm a big fan of the Alien movies. Aliens. And I liked Prometheus. I liked Prometheus somewhat, but Alien Covenant was, I think, one of the 2 times I left a movie and I was just like, ugh. Actually, funny enough, the other time was Justice League. So Those
That was
the only
everybody.
two times. I think I'm not as harsh on this movie compared to others, just because I do like the characters a lot. I should say I like Wonder Woman a lot. I like Steve Trevor a lot.
Yeah, they.
I was entertained by Maxwell Lord. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Pedro Pascal's character. But when the movie started, I didn't read any reviews or anything. I saw the Rotten Tomato score was like, I don't know, like a high 60s. And I usually, not intentionally, but I usually somewhat agree with what Rotten Tomatoes does. That's just on average usually what happens. And my friend texted me, said he didn't like it, and I was like, okay, he doesn't really like much. I was watching the movie. The beginning I thought was nice.
I even like it.
I like the opening scene on the mascara, and I was like, okay, this is probably gonna tie in later. And then I don't know, as the movie progresses, I'm just like, things started getting really confusing for me. Like I was like, okay, this stone grants wishes, okay, but then it takes something away. So I was like, I didn't realize that until like later on. I was like, okay, so it takes something away from you. And then the whole thing with I mean, you guys talked about it, the whole thing with Steve Trevor was really weird. How like other things could just pop out of nowhere, like the nukes, but Steve Trevor had to replace another guy, and the fact that she more than likely slept with that guy was like really weird. And then when they, I think the first time I really started to like, is I'm pretty good at suspending my disbelief for certain things.
Yeah, you have to.
Like in a movie like The Rise of Skywalker, it happens a lot, but not enough, at least for me, to where I hate the movie. I don't think it's a good movie, but I don't hate it.
Yeah.
But with this movie, so that they're in the plane, right, and they're taking off. And I'm like, isn't this plane something that was on display? And then like, so then they take off.
Yeah, she had clearance. She had clearance with her card somehow.
I'm like, okay, and then I was like, does this plane have had gas for all these years? So I actually made a comment. I was like, oh, this is gonna be what Rogue Squadron is like. Until I realized, I was like, wait, this makes no sense. So like, I hope this is not what Rogue Squadron is like. So then they fly to like Egypt, right? I'm like, it's gonna take like 10 hours. So I'm just like, okay. So they sat in the plane for 10 hours. They got there, and then the part where Pedro Pascal's character was making other people's wishes come true, but then he could take something from them. That confused me at first too. So I'm like, okay, you're adding another aspect to this like stone that's now Pedro Pascal. And then the world's thrown into chaos. And I was really expecting like the end. Someone was going to be like, okay, I wish that the world can just travel back in time like a week and everything will go back to normal. Because when you leave,
Flash. That's a good point, Coleman. If Flash showed up,
oh my god, I didn't think of that.
No, that would make it more like I don't think there's recovering from this. Just like, I take the wish back. If the Flash showed up and reversed it a week, yes, that would make logical sense in this universe.
It's funny because it's been like what, almost 60 years now since the Cuban Missile Crisis, and we talk about that as a big thing. If something like this happened in real life, oh my god, no one would ever forget
that.
No one would ever forgive it. And I'm just like, and then I was like, for one, it is just unrealistic that every single person in the world would take back their wish. There's just some really bad people out there. And then
and all the effects you saw were bad. Everyone on Earth is bad. Like everyone they showed was bad. Like
and then I was like, I don't know. I always have these thoughts
like they did take a page from Green Lantern.
Like at least one person must have wished that like the Earth would blow up or something. Like one person would wish that would cause everything to collapse. Like one person would wish that we live in Star Wars and like the Death Star would show up. Like I feel like so many different things. Yeah, like so many things would happen, and I'm just like, okay. And then when I was still somewhat on the movie, and then when they ironically they were explaining the Star Wars program, which was a real thing with the signals sending out. And I was like, okay. And then he's like, oh, you can touch people with the particles, and then they can grant their wish. I'm just like, bruh.
Yeah.
He's like, I touch you, your wish grant.
And I was confused. Like, didn't the kid make didn't he make a wish like 3 times already? He's like, I wish you would just hang out with me. Did he like remove the hand right before he usually grant the wish? I was like, okay, fine.
I wish that you'd be great, and he like touched his leg, so it came true.
Yeah, and then this movie, like it's so long, and then it ends, but there's no resolution. Like
maybe they are trying to do this in the Flashpoint. I don't know. I don't know.
Everything just happens. Like the world was thrown into chaos.
It was a Flashpoint movie.
I'm trying to think of a good example. Like, I don't know. So like Pedro Pascal, it seems he gets to run free, and I was laughing because he was on the island.
Yeah,
like,
where the police arrested him.
and then he gets flown out back to DC. And the way they travel across the world is like worse than the Dark Knight Rises. You know, they're in Egypt one moment, and then I'm like, how did what's her name, Barbara, Kristen Wiig's character? How did she get to Egypt? And then they're back in DC, and then like the world's thrown into chaos, and Pedro Pascal's running around, he's screaming for his son, and then he happens to be hiding in the bushes. I'm just like, okay.
He was on the freeway just a minute ago. Like, what?
Like, how did you get down?
You know what would have worked so much better for me is just a simple, cheesy 80s with the cheetah and just focus on that in a short movie, and that would have been way more successful for me.
And can I have another question?
Yeah.
We'll let Coolman finish, then we'll get to you, Andrew.
So,
okay, sure.
So it's established that the lasso of truth can like make you see things.
Yeah.
If you touch it, so could the lasso? Was it that the lasso of truth could like touch people through the particles of the space station? Because did everyone else see that they were doing something that was wrong? Is that because all the screens turned like gold?
Yeah.
I stopped trying to figure it out at that point. I was like,
yeah, it didn't make sense because she couldn't get the lasso through like the wind tunnel particle beam thing. But then all of a sudden it's all on his leg, and everyone's like, I rescind my wish because it's broadcasting, and it's like, wait, what?
And then I thought the Cheetah lady I thought she died when she wouldn't rescind her wish, and Wonder Woman's like, I'm sorry, and I'm like, okay, I thought you died. But I was like, if she died, why didn't you die, Wonder Woman? Because you two have the same powers. But then she wasn't dead. So I was like, okay, I guess that makes sense. See, the thing is, if there's like, of all these things I mentioned, if there was only like 2 of them, I could forgive it. Maybe not so much the space particles.
That was too far. I was like,
oh, like the travel, the like everything. Like if it's happened twice, and I can forgive it, like once, but I don't know, just like thing after thing after thing, and then Steve Trevor just disappears, and then the guy comes back. And what was the point of the end scene? There was no resolution. Like, and
I don't like, oh, hello, how are you?
Is Pedro Pascal gonna get arrested?
I have no idea. Maybe they're planning to do a little bit of carryover from this film into another DCEU movie. No, I don't think it's gonna happen now. But they rewrote Flashpoint so many times. Maybe they were including. Maybe Grace was right. No, I'm just kidding.
Maybe one of those is a Flashpoint movie.
If you do a time period movie and you have the Flash, that would be a good way to introduce, link them together. But I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe there was something there they cut out because they're not going forward enough. It's very possible that again something was a plot point that they took out because they're changing directions again towards the end of this film. I don't know. Damn. I don't think there is, but it's possible.
This is a $200 million movie, just the budget, and so far the box office is at $40 million.
Well,
I mean that's not entirely fair.
Yeah.
No. We haven't finished the weekend for the actual theater sales, but still, it's like, oh, damn, And even if you count HBO Max, it's like, well, how much is that for like everything that they're watching, not just this movie?
Ambassador likes it.
It's a movie where I could sometimes I have to turn off my brain more than most movies, but I might need to get stoned the next time if I want to enjoy this movie.
I completely missed the thing where I wish you would die, and I have to go back and watch that part. I'm like, what?
I was like, that's a little aggressive.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know.
I wish you would die.
I don't know, just like one person wished they were king, so it's like, are they the king of what? There's when you play with like wishes and stuff. And like it's like the thing with time travel, you have to be very careful, and this movie was not careful at all.
Yeah,
like it is.
Yeah, be careful what you wish.
Yeah, it was like Bruce Almighty without any actual consequence.
Yeah,
so
at least
they made Pedro Pascal turn into the genie.
Andrew, you gonna watch it again?
I think he muted himself.
Probably not.
No. That's my ultimate towel. Is like, am I gonna watch this again? I gave it like a 6 out of 10. I think.
Yeah, that's about right.
Maybe I'll rewatch Justice League.
You'd rather watch Justice League over this?
I don't know. I've only seen Justice League once, and that was in the theaters.
Okay.
I'd rather watch the Burton Batman or
I'm really
Man of Steel
disappointed
over
because Patty Jenkins, she had the keys to the castle in Hollywood of the next
Yeah, she had it in the bag.
female blockbuster movie maker for nerd culture. You know, I mean, that's why she got the first Wonder Woman. Is why she got Star Wars.
What if I'm funny?
Yeah.
I mean, there's some of my friends thought it was unfair to say I'm a little concerned. I mean, I don't want her. I'm not saying fire Jenkins. No way. I want her to have her shot. Maybe Star Wars would be a better fit.
I think Lucasfilm should stop hiring people while they're in the middle of a project.
Right.
Like the first thing happened was with Ryan Johnson. Now, I love The Last Jedi, but they hired Ryan Johnson's trilogy. Most people were like excited, like, oh my god, if they're giving this guy a trilogy, then Last Jedi must be really good. A lot of people hated it, and then a lot of people turned on Ryan Johnson. Then they hired Benioff and Weiss, and they're like, okay, these guys make Game of Thrones, one of the best shows ever. They're gonna be great. Then season 8 came out. Like, ooh, maybe not.
Yeah, they're like, mistake.
I actually still want Benioff and Weiss for Star Wars. I think that's a bad move to can them.
Well, it doesn't matter. And then they hired Patty Jenkins, and we're like, okay, she made Wonder Woman, which I love, one of my favorite movies ever. And I'm like, okay, but now she made this movie, and people are like,
yeah, me too.
I don't know. I'm just appreciating that Star Wars overall is in a good place right now. So.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's nice.
For once in like 3 years.
I guess that Pedro became the wishing stone. He is the one that can allow which wish can be granted and the one that make the consequence. Yeah, that's also weird. Like after he doesn't say, I'm going to take something from you. He just says, I'm after you. Like if you do like on all these fables and stories of wishing and stuff, they kind of tell you, this, something part of the contract. He basically says, okay, gotcha. This is what I'm going to take from you. And then it happens. That was weird too.
Brian,
like,
you went there.
All your soldiers. What?
I will. No, I'll say it right now. Batman and Robin was better.
Oh hell yeah! Batman and Robin's at least like you can have fun laughing at it.
I saw that movie twice. Once in the regular theaters, once at the drive-in. That movie's awesome compared to this. So
I've never seen Batman and Robin.
Whoa, dude, we gotta do a watch party.
No, I don't think I've seen any DC movie that's not the Dark Knight trilogy or the DCEU films.
Oh, the Schumacher movies were great.
I haven't seen any of the old Batmans.
Yeah,
I haven't seen any of the Supermans.
It's way underrated.
I was watching Batwoman last night. I'm like, I'd rather watch Batwoman than Wonder Woman 84 on HBO Max.
Ruby Rose style.
I'll take the Christopher Reeve Superman movies.
I'm excited about the new cast. What the new actress that's in. I want to see it because it's starting in January. I'm like, I'm going to give this a shot. And I honestly, I was having a little bit more fun with Batwoman than Wonder Woman 84. And it's cheesy as hell too. It's cheesy, yeah. This is very rare on YouTube. So there you go. Matt Jarbo says Angus is right.
I think still not my Benioff.
Okay. I've softened on them too. I don't think it was entirely their fault. I mean, they certainly contributed to it, but George R.R. Martin certainly had a lot to do with that.
Yeah, I don't know the channel, but this one channel I watch, you never know when he's going to upload, but he does these really deep videos, and he said he thinks that they did it season 8 the way they did it on purpose to screw George R.R. Martin for like leaving them, in the dust.
I don't believe it.
No, it was just his theory, but he like laid it out, and it was a very convincing argument, and I could totally see that.
Rel McMillan says, "Too bad Patty can't make a wish to make Wonder Woman 84." That was my wish the other day, and it hasn't come true yet. I'm not taking it back. Listen, my wish was the Snyder Cut to actually. I was doing this on another stream. I was like the closest comparison I could say to the Snyder Cut happening is it's not to this level of like George Lucas's original treatment for the sequel trilogy being made, because they didn't actually start filming or anything like that. But that's the closest equivalent. The Snyder Cut is, even if you're not a huge fan of it, it's like so groundbreaking for the entertainment industry for them to go back to do this much work and
fix a movie.
Surpassed all expectations. Like as a fan, as wanting. I've been behind the Snyder Cut, but I didn't like retweet it every day. Some of these people retweet every single day and did this for years. I wasn't like that. I always supported it, but I didn't go that far. Man, they're doing way beyond surpassing all expectations. And I honestly think, yes, we did our part, but seeing the results of this, I think they needed to do another change, and they already knew. And hopefully the Snyder Cut puts it back on track, and you will get to see Wonder Woman there. And hopefully, if the rumors are true, Zack Snyder will get to do a sequel, and the Snyder Cut could be like HBO's new Game of Thrones if it's embraced. I hope it's embraced that much.
I doubt it.
If it sucks though, and if like Snyder Cut fans don't like this treatment that Snyder did, then DC is screwed.
Oh my God.
What are they going to do?
Yeah.
I mean, Suicide Squad, that's it. That's out. And the Batman.
It's not going to happen if this one falls through, then.
No, it's already done. The Suicide Squad's already done.
I expect with the Snyder Cut, I expect that the people who didn't like BVS are probably not going to like the Snyder Cut, but the people who love BVS probably will love the Snyder Cut. If the Snyder fans hate the Snyder Cut, then I don't know. They might need to restart the whole universe.
Listen, my friends like this movie. If they could say they like this, there's no way they're going to say they hate the Snyder Cut. I mean, they're going to be happy.
Well, the thing about Snyder Cut with the BVS is that you watch the theatrical cut, and I'm one of those. I'm like, yeah, that wasn't a good movie. But then you see the ultimate cut, and it's like, why did they chop the knees out from Zack Snyder and not just let him, like Lord of the Rings, just have an intermission for a full film?
Maybe I'll watch BVS again.
Yep, it's underrated.
Didn't they take the?
I like your use. I haven't seen you before, Brad Pitt.
That's a funny
I like that. Suicide Squad will be good. I think it has. Listen, I didn't want James Gunn to come back for Guardians 3, but I you know what? I don't care what he tweeted in the past. I'm so beyond what people say. I mean, because you won't be able to enjoy anything anymore. I don't care what people say. Everyone says something I don't like, and guess what? I'll still go watch your content or your entertainment, your film. I don't care anymore. James Gunn has a lot to offer. Go look at Brightburn. I don't like Guardians 2. But yes, I feel like that's going to be a knockout of the park, that one. I'll be surprised if that's bad too.
I'm still hoping that the Robert Pattinson Batman or the Flash movie will be good. Since they're bringing back Michael Keaton.
Yeah, no, I want those to be good. I'm just kind of like with the Flashpoint. I'm just like, Ezra Miller's Flash. I don't know.
Their track record's just not very good at this point.
I'm more excited about the Flashpoint movie than Ezra coming back. I like Ezra Miller, but that wasn't like. He's okay. He's funny.
I'm all for it. Just seeing Michael Keaton back in the bat suit, I'm me up.
Yeah. Well,
you know what Matt was.
That's not as impactful for Goldman because he hasn't seen the original Batman. Michael.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't care.
Oh, what Matt was saying about crap, lost my train of thought. It'll come back to me.
All right.
I'm happy for other people though.
All right.
When it came to the Wonder Woman movie, I don't know if you guys pointed out, but when she did the thing with the invisible thing, I thought to myself, when has she done that before? And if that's a power, why couldn't you just make the mother boxes invisible so Steppenwolf couldn't find them?
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, Andrew. Make them invisible. That's true because this is
and also, after getting a pep talk from Steve, she can fly like Superman.
Did you like the flying? I thought that scene was way too long, and it was really an homage to Man of Steel.
I was like, Man of Steel feels. I was like, oh, okay.
It made I don't know. I don't remember like Justice League or BVS off the top of my head. Did she ever like fly before?
Not really. She kind of did like
I don't think ever
through the air, or she did I think she did swing off a lightning bolt before. Somewhere.
Oh yeah, her swinging off those ropes so many times made me feel like I was watching Spider-Man.
But never going like from this to this, and that's what I mean. I don't know. That scene was like very pretentious, like over the top. Like this is an amazing part of the film, and it was just too long. And I was like, okay, she could They can fly now. She can fly now.
Wow.
That's a good one, Max. That's a good one.
She can fly now. I'm like, okay.
I feel like this movie would have done better if it didn't take place in 1984 and it took place like after BVS or something. Maybe and obviously you still shouldn't have like all these nukes going on. But, like,
Diana from BVS.
like just continuity is a big thing for me. Like when it comes to major things, not so much smaller things. So I'm just like this is a world like breaking event, and then like she flies now, but she didn't fly before. I'm decent. Thanks for asking, but I don't know. It just I'm glad I'm not super invested into DC.
Hey, bro, it's up to him if he wants to answer that or not. But I was just gonna say, go check out his channel. He's a very positive dude. He surpassed me you're doing really good on your channel. Do really good content. You've upped your thumbnail game too. I was looking at today. I was like, I'm gonna check out some of his vids. If you want positive Star Wars content, Goldman really gives a thorough examination of. He also examines people's criticism. He's not afraid to examine criticism. So go check him out. He doesn't need my help anymore. I can use your help. Goldman, help me out.
Okay. I have one movie. The Ambassador. Okay, he's not lowering his standards in terms of quality media, but he can overlook some of the stuff, the film that he enjoys. Can you say the same thing about the sequels for Star Wars?
Ooh.
I feel like the biggest reason, now I'm not going to speak for everyone, but the biggest reason a lot of people get the sequels was because of like the characters more so
They're
than
married to legends and they don't want to let go.
A lot of people are. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm not going to speak for people.
I would rewatch any of the sequel trilogy over this. Any.
Hey,
Yeah, I would take the Christopher Reeve Superman over this.
I would just pawn my TV. If I had to pick between Wonder Woman 84 and Last Jedi, I would just pawn my TV.
Listen, I said I apologized to Rian Johnson. I said, I'm glad you killed him off in a better movie, because if it would have come down to this, I didn't like the way they did Leia. It was just like, okay, this is the end of there's this, Leia's going to be in this movie. We had to do it. We had to honor her. And I was like, it would have been, yeah, right. I didn't like the way it. There is one more topic that I had that's good news. I didn't know this would be a whole franchise. And this is a Zack Snyder again. Army of the Dead. They already finished a prequel, has wrapped production. That we don't know when the Army of the Dead's coming out. And there's going to be supplemental movies.
Netflix.
Oh, wow.
So Zack Snyder is the man. This next year is his year, because he's going to have 2 major releases on streaming. Yeah. He is not afraid of streaming either. Like some directors are fighting tooth and nail.
Yeah, he's staring into the skid, Yeah.
Or fighting tooth and nail to keep their projects at the theater. He is embracing streaming, and he is a big name to go to now. Now, the reception of both the Snyder Cut and Army of the Dead, if he lands both, he's going to be the go-to guy. And this is not just one film; it's a franchise. And Warner Brothers passed on this. This is why it's on Netflix. Netflix still hasn't set a release date for Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead, which makes Snyder's return to the zombie subgenre more than 15 years after making his feature debut film, Dawn of the Dead remake. Did you guys all see that?
No, I'm not a zombie fan.
Oh, neither am I.
Me.
It's really good. I'm not a huge zombie guy either, but it was really good. He really did a good job.
The one zombie movie I like is one that like no one will give a chance because it's like a slow burn, art film. It Comes at Night.
Okay, I'll check that out. But this is. I know. What? Did I miss a joke?
No, sorry. I saw Zeno say, "Why didn't Wonder Woman save Superman in BBS by making him invisible?"
What it?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, there's a lot of things she could have done. I don't think the invisible jet scene was ever going to be a good scene, though. I think that scene was fun. That's the least of my
They
problem.
could have made it some stupid sci-fi tech that the government's doing like Black Ops missions with.
When that happened, I was laughing. I was like, it's definitely not safe to fly right through fireworks. It was a beautiful scene.
So, this is I'm not going to read the whole article, but this is the last thing I wanted to show is just the picture of the cast. of Army of the Dead, the prequel. Thanks to all the cast and crew. I didn't know they were doing this. They're making a prequel too. That's the girl from Game of Thrones. I don't know these other actors. I'm excited for this franchise.
I like Snyder, but I'm not watching this.
You're not?
Yeah.
Even if it's on Netflix?
Nope.
Yeah,
No
but I
one-
probably won't. Maybe I will if I watch it with friends, but it's not something I have no clue when it's coming out. So
It's
like,
not my genre.
Yeah, Brian, back off. You what?
I just
Oh man, you're getting some. Brian's getting some hate in the chat over the over.
Yeah,
the
it's
all
like,
listen, I've liked
Lord,
Gold.
come
Brian.
on.
Yeah, turn back to the light, Gold man.
no, he said that they were irredeemable.
I'm not. I don't even have the argument anymore. I don't even care. Like I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I was thinking about rewatching The Rise of Skywalker. I have no problem rewatching The Last Jedi now. I've gotten past it. I don't care because I honestly think if Ryan Johnson, if the Rise of Skywalker, the script and the outline, which I don't think there was a lot there, and he threw it out and it was basically run by the numbers, just the Palpatine or Snoke instead of the Palpatine at the end. Yeah, I would have threw that shit in the garbage too. It would have been so much more boring without Ryan Johnson. If this is what they were going to do anyway.
Well, all I'm trying to say is it's the same thing. It's like there's good parts of that movie and then there's bad parts of that movie. It's how you weigh those good and bad parts, which lets you make the decision. So, I mean,
but
yeah, I agree because when it comes to like Luke and that Jedi, I enjoy Mark Hamill and anything. I love Luke. It's just that the writing for the hit for Luke was bad.
I thought the Mandalorian was supposed to wreck on the sequels, so I'm kind of confused right now.
Is that?
Oh yeah. See, I don't buy that shit at all. I don't buy Phantom Menace fake news. You know, I'm one in the Phantom Menace. I call the shit out, and that's why people in the Menace don't like me because like I don't.
Well, there's
the
other
need for fake
too,
news.
I'm sure. No, I'm sorry. No, I still like you, man. But yeah, that's one of the reasons. I'm just kidding, man. It was a joke.
I mean, when I first saw Mark Hamill in the Mandalorian, I was like, hell yes.
Yeah. What did you? Oh, I didn't talk to you guys. What did you think about the end of the Mandalorian? Spoilers. Luke's return.
Okay, well,
Is I
first.
Oh,
it was cool.
Well,
that doesn't seem like too stressful, man.
No, it was like I don't know. People were like crying over it. That wasn't me. I actually cried over Mando saying goodbye to Baby Yoda.
Oh yeah.
It was something I was happy to see because I was just happy a lot of people were going to be excited. Seeing Luke cut down all the robots or the Dark Troopers, like it's fine. Like it's not something. It's funny. I have a clip saved on bookmarked on Twitter. It's the Luke hallway scene, but played to the Last Jedi trailer music. So like I'd rather rewatch that than any of the like actual scenes like of Luke. I don't know. It's not something I hate by any means. I like it, but it's like nothing compared. Like. It's hard for me to because I'm not angry.
Mark Hamill in the flesh in The Last Jedi doing his acting ability than a CG.
That doesn't bother me. It just
that scene.
What bothered me, people were like, "This was the Luke we should have gotten in like the sequels," and I'm like, "Sure, okay, but Luke didn't really do anything. Like he got down a bunch of Dark Troopers, and then he just stood there and he's like, "I'm a Jedi. I need to take Grogu," and then he left, which is fine. I didn't expect him to do anything else.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It's a weird comparison. Like when I first saw it, I was like, oh god, people are going to talk about Luke and the Last Jedi when they're just so far apart. Like people refuse to accept that characters change over a long period of time. Not saying that that's the reason why I think he works in the Last Jedi. I think there's a bunch of other reasons, but I don't know. Just like when people compare two things, I think shouldn't be comparable. It's annoying, but no, I loved the ending of The Mandalorian. I think it's with the exception of Last Jedi, I think was probably the best thing we've gotten since, I don't know, Return of the Jedi? Maybe, Clone Wars. Siege of Mandalore is pretty good. Those two things, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, in my opinion, when I saw the scene, when I saw like Reed Sarah, I was like, whoa, it can't be. Oh, yes.
I was excited. I wasn't like... I wasn't like, oh, but it was one of those things, or like I watch it, I get really excited, but it's not gonna like.
I would have been much more hype if it was Sebastian Stan there.
Me too.
Because then that would mean
he can't replace Mark Hamill. He's
Sure, he can.
Yeah, you can. They replaced Harrison Ford
Easily.
Not a lot of people didn't like that, but they're replacing.
Besides,
they replaced.
Said recently he actually had Mark Hamill.
I do find it funny though how after the Rise of Skywalker, Mark Hamill's like, "Yeah, I'm done with Star Wars, no more." Then he comes back less than a year later.
Oh, paycheck! Yippee! Yeah. For me, I'm part of the Menace. I hate Last Jedi. That's what got me in this. But I'm not an OT fanboy. I only appreciate the original trilogy because I'm a prequel fan. That's what got me to Star Wars. That's my Star Wars. That's really what makes Star Wars cool. Is the prequels. Yeah. Well, like I saw the original trilogy a couple times because my mom's boyfriend at the time. That's all they had, and they were really excited about the prequels coming. But my first real my investment was Darth Maul on the trailer, and then going to see Phantom Menace. With episode 2, I wasn't excited just because all I cared about was Spider-Man when it came out. So like my dad had to make me go see.
Oh, same here, man. Same here.
But I'm so glad I got to see all 3 in theaters. But yeah, I'm a prequel fan, so pretty much besides Clone Wars, my whole fandom has been given the middle finger even before the EU shit, and so like I'm not attached, but my son's named Lucas, and there's that duality of like for me it's the creator, for my wife it's more Luke Skywalker, and we call him Luke, and so he knows like Darth Vader's like that's you, Daddy, and I'm Luke, and Leia's Sissy, and but I'm just like fucking original trilogy, whoop-de-doo, and I'm watching Mandalorian, and we all are liking it, and they love Baby Yoda.
Best viewed videos is when your kids were reacting to.
Yeah, well, I love that. I love that. That I have that with them, and I had the comments to record it. But they're kind of passive.
Can we watch that again? Actually, that was a good video.
They're kind of passive. They'll watch like the action sequences, but they don't really care. They're not old enough to really get why Star Wars is cool besides the action. But like, I'm not a Luke fanboy, and I'm watching. I'm like, oh wait, is this? No way! They're tricking us. This must be Ahsoka or some shit. Maybe she got an X-wing, and it's like, oh shit, this really is Luke Skywalker. And I'm like, Luke, it's you. You're on screen. You're back. Oh my god, So it was exciting for me. It was weird for me because like I'm not attached to Luke Skywalker, and I still was like, this is cool. I definitely could see like, this is what we wanted because I hate seeing on Twitter. Not talking about you, Goldman, but see on Twitter these people that diss the idea of like this is Luke. We should have gotten the sequels. Some action with him, like being the boss, being the leader of the Jedi. Now, I totally agree with that sentiment, and people throw that away and be like, "Whoa, you just want badass Luke. You just want him one-dimensional." It's like besides the Sarlacc pit scene when he's escaping, like Luke was never written as a badass. It was always either I got to fight this guy in Vader or face the Emperor, or the action was just like, I got to get out of here. It was never just like, I'm the OG. The one time you saw him like confident is when he chokes the Gamorrean guard and then he gets dropped into the Rancor pit. So I can totally see that sentiment of like, this is what we should have
done. When he was about to kill Vader and he looked at himself and goes, no, failed, Your Highness. I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
That's the thing is Luke is a loser in every fucking movie. He only has Obi-Wan and Han to save him in episode 4. He has Vader hold back when he fights him in episode 5. And then in episode 6, he beats Vader, but loses with the Emperor, and Vader has to save his ass. So he's never actually like the badass. He's not Rambo or some shit. That's my whole view of Star Wars.
Yeah. Hey, Justin, what do you think of 1984? Put that in the chat. If you've seen it, I want to see what Justin. Justin's a cool guy. I see a lot of reactions on here. Besides my Snyder Cut fans, my brothers, I don't see a lot of love for this movie, and that makes me sad because I thought the movies were on track. I still
it's derailed again.
Well, I mean, if the Snyder Cut could fix all that, and she can have her, I think they could still do Wonder Woman 3 and be fine. And
Patty's doing Star Wars now. No Wonder Woman 3
and Cleopatra.
It's a good thing to part ways here. Yeah, if Cleopatra's bad, oh my. Are they filming that yet, or
That comes out 2022.
Oh,
And
no,
2023 is Rogue Squadron.
Oh, really? Oh, boy.
I'm still looking forward to Rogue Squadron. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not like super excited. There's a bunch of the shows I'm more excited for, but I'm interested.
Yeah, make no mistake. I'm rooting for Patty. I'm rooting for everything Gal does. I think she's proved haters wrong with her acting ability, and that she can carry a franchise. She has, just like people counted out. Listen, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's not like an amazing actor or anything, but people counted him out in his early in his career too, and now he's one of the last movie stars where you get box office just by him being in it. That could be Gal. That could be Gal. She might not be the most proficient actress. What's that?
Maybe.
What's that, Andrew?
Justin says he hasn't seen it. Is asking, is it really that divisive?
Oh, yes, it is. Yes. Justin, you have to see it. HBO Max has free previews for 2 weeks. I would say, yes, it's the next Last Jedi. And so
I feel like there's a difference between a movie being. I feel like there's the difference between a movie being divisive, like Last Jedi, and then a movie being just widely disliked. Is it really divisive, or is it just? Do people actually like the movie? I haven't seen anyone that's liked the movie thoroughly.
Good point. Maybe it's just because I'm going through the perspective of the fandom I'm in and the DC talk. It's more divided. But if you go outside the Snyder Cut and the DC fans, I think it's generally banned. I think you're right.
Yeah. Once you get out of the bubble,
I don't know
you guys seem surprised when you guys seem surprised when I compared this movie to the Spider-Man 3's Emo Peter.
I'd rather watch Spider-Man 3 than that.
No, dude, Spider-Man 3, like, people focus on the emo Spider-Man, and they let that reflect on the whole movie when that's just like a small phase through a story arc that fits with a trilogy story for Spider-Man's progression as a character, because it ends with him and Mary Jane and trying to repair things and stuff, and he helps redeem.
And Toby's nice Spider-Man.
Yeah, he helps redeem what's his name, the Hobgoblin. I can't remember his friend's name right now.
Harry Osborn.
Yeah, there's so much more to it than just the freaking laughable scene. But that was filmed in a way to be look at where Spider-Man's going. Like, he's not the guy we like. This is laughable. Like, that was kind of purposeful in and of itself.
Rel McMillan says, "Does Gal have the acting chops?" I think she can. I'm more concerned. Out of the two, I'm more concerned with Patty than Gal.
Absolutely. Yeah, I thought Wonder Woman. I thought Gal Gadot did a great job.
Yeah.
Well, I gave this comparison talking to someone. All right, so more times than not, it's your director that makes an actor look great. Okay, so Walk the Line with Joaquin Phoenix. That's a biopic about Johnny Cash. So he is Johnny Cash. He should be what you take away from the film. But who got Best Actor? Actually, it was Reese Witherspoon. He didn't get anything for that movie. But then he does Joker, and everyone's like, "Oh, he's such a great actor." And it's like, really? Were you ever really sold on Joaquin Phoenix? Like, he's been solid his career. Yeah. He's never been a guy like that guy's going to get Oscars. He's a Denzel, or he's DiCaprio. Like, no, you never thought that
a DC movie about Joker.
Well, Ambassador, I wasn't trying to I hear you, Ambassador. I hear you, brother. Justin, just go watch the movie. I wasn't trying to sway people to immediately hate it. I was just saying yes, because I know Justin has his own mind. He's gonna say whatever the hell he feels like. He's another one that he has my utmost respect in a group of fans that I'm not particularly super happy about a group on the internet. But Justin is not afraid to speak his mind. He's going to tell you what he feels. I'm just saying, yes, that's also when it's in nerd culture and it's a film where everyone has an opinion on it. I would be very interested to hear Justin's based on Gal's portrayal. And then we're going to end it too, because we're approaching 2 hours. And I know everyone's here is busy dudes. Oh, you got some posters up there, Gold Man.
This is my, I actually have a new webcam. I got a lot. Actually, I don't have any of my sequel posters up, ironically.
Oh, that's cool. Well, wait.
Yeah, I thought so too. I'm like, yes, the best Star Wars.
Wait a second. I thought you said you didn't have any toys.
I never said that. I don't have many. Oh. I have Legos. Legos are more than toys.
Oh, okay.
See this is my custom built Lego Death Star that took me a month to make.
Oh, wow.
That's why the colors are all off.
That's awesome. Is there any significance to the Cheez-It box?
Nothing. No, but
Jesus.
Was you just snacking, or was that a special?
Nothing beats these. My solo cups.
Yeah,
You've seen them before.
Those, I think those will be worth something.
So do you eat the Cheez-Its out of the solo cups? I'm still trying to figure the Cheez-Its
No,
out.
those are never being opened. I'm never opening my Force Awakens Cheez-Its.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, yummy.
They are.
I also got Star Wars mac and cheese.
All right.
Well, you probably won't want to eat that.
You actually saved the memorabilia of mac and cheese.
My friends make fun of me. They're like, oh, I got these Oreos and they have a Star Wars on them. You want it? I'm like, sure, and I keep it. But yeah, this is my prequel section, then my original trilogy section, and then my sequel section is back there. So,
Oh, that's awesome. I haven't looked at your room. I have to watch some of your videos because I for some reason I clicked on your channel today. I'm not I mean, just because we haven't talked in a little bit, and I haven't been at home much. I've been taking care of my dad, so I have a lot of online time. So I was looking at your channel, I'm like, oh, he's up this thumbnail game, and I didn't really check out any videos yet, but I'm going to. And that's exciting room there. I love that room.
Thank you. You know what's funny with my new thumbnails? Because I was experimenting because my friends like, I love your videos, but I don't think your thumbnails are good. So I was like, okay, take criticism, try and improve. So then I was like, I was just scrolling through fonts, and I was like, oh, I like this font, and I posted on Twitter like, you guys like my new thumbnails? And they're like, oh yeah, I love the new Star Trek font for your Star Wars videos.
Yeah, I
like,
noticed that. I'm like, oh my god, he's doing Star Trek on Star Wars.
I was like, oh, it's Star Trek. I didn't even realize, and I was like, oh wait, I don't care. I select the font. So
no, you're going to trigger people, and they're going to look at it just because. Of that.
Oh, that's not fair, Zeno. That's not fair. I think.
Oh, Zeno.
Come on, dude. Are you shaming
No,
her?
she's a good actress, but she hasn't had good direction in this film.
All right.
I mean, she was in the Fast and Furious movies.
You're my brother, but come on, we can't do this to women in the industry.
Hey, Max, can you go to your DM and show those couple pictures I sent you?
I don't know. Let me see. On Twitter?
Yeah.
Oh. All right.
Yeah, I mean,
here.
I saw a gal in the Fast movie. I thought she was good, and then when I saw her in BBS, I was like, I'm on board with her.
All right, that's cool.
Ooh, that's cool. Actually, you might appreciate.
So my son is 5. My son is 5, and of course, my room, I got a whole wall and a half of like my collection since I've been 16 of mainly Star Wars. And we went to Kroger today, and I was like, they got stuff for Christmas, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna get something. I found a Star Wars car for the Sith Trooper, and I just love that design. And I was all excited to put it on my wall, putting the kids to bed, and then it's like, oh, I already have it. And so like. He's 5. He's already, we're growing his collection. I got him an off-world Jawa recently for Christmas, and then now he's got the Sith Trooper like Daddy.
Oh, that's cool.
You know what you might appreciate, Angus? I have a custom-built Venator.
Venator.
So,
okay.
Yeah, the colors don't match because what I did was with a few of these expensive sets. I just took random Lego pieces and then looked up the instruction manual and then built it. That's what I did.
I know all about that, man. My goal is to make a custom. I think the 2013 version of the Republic gunship. That's my favorite Star Wars ship. That and the ARC 170 from Episode 3.
AC/DC overrated.
Yeah.
One drum beat.
200 million records. 200 million records says otherwise, my friend.
No, they're not overrated. They're not overrated. They're not. I'm not a huge fan of them, but I appreciate their talent.
Overplayed and overrated.
Nah, people just don't dig into the deep tracks. I
just got Tenet in the mail today, so I want to.
I like AC/DC
watching that. And I know you guys are all busy, so
Tenet is amazing, my friend.
Okay,
It'll blow your mind. I'll send you a video that helps explain it after you watch it. Because you're gonna be like, what? And it's gonna like even make it better once you see it.
I have to finish Soul. On Disney Plus, and then Tenet. So I have I have a PlayStation podcast tomorrow. So
wait, before we go, can I show one more thing?
Sure.
Now this is empty. I don't have the food anymore, but we got some Captain Phasma Valentine's Day chocolates.
All right. That's cool. I like that. Yeah.
Give me where Phasma went. Given where Phasma's went, I would never give that to anyone.
Yeah,
if you
it'd
love
be
them.
more of a broken heart, but no, I thought this would be pretty funny. All right, I'm done.
All right, cool. So pimp out your channel. I don't have I have like 22 viewers. That's decent. I appreciate all the support. Go check these guys out, starting with Black Angus, who's making more content lately. Go check
thanks, Max. I appreciate. Yeah, I'm trying to get back in the game. We've had some crazy stuff happen in Comicsgate with your boy Zach, who I've said for a while isn't CG, and trying to stream more and make more content. Of course, Wonder Woman. There's some of the mix. I plan to do a Fandom Menace video because, like, I think Brian is in tune to some degree with Red Pill community philosophy. We're the fraction we're seeing the Phantom Menace about the Mandalorian making everyone because people like it. This is no different than the Black Pill Doomers and Red Pill philosophy. This is nothing new. This is what happens to fandoms that have a direction, and then there's like,
are you proud of me?
Catalyst.
I don't.
That's why I left the Menace.
The Menace anymore. I don't even care.
Yeah, I left them when Solo came out.
I just don't care. I'm like, whatever.
Hey, I believe in what got me started. You know, I've tried to be someone to push people forward, and you know, you've had people capitalize on a grift from that sentiment that got us all started. You know, and I'm trying to be someone productive. So I do not. You know, it's to my chagrin, unfortunately, that I'm Menace instead of just, you know, parting ways and being my own thing or find something different. But I'm trying to be a standard bearer of positivity and productiveness. So that's why I maintain Menace identity. But yeah, look forward to that video maybe tomorrow.
All right. Justin says, Angus, let's talk about Mando. I've seen nearly universal love for the finale. Okay. Cool.
Oh yeah. Message me after this.
Yeah.
All right, and Brian, Master of Madness. I see you a lot on the lounge too. You're doing your channel there.
I get around.
Yeah.
Basically, I'll take an invite, you know, in the group messages. So I'm on everybody's stream.
Oh, every time I see you on the stream, like, that's Brian representing.
Right. I like to carry the flag. Honestly, with the whole Ray Fisher thing, I think that you were a big part of it as well. And I don't think you got you deserve a lot of the credit, especially like for the fandom and stuff like that.
I was more critical of him. I still support him, and I think he is very intelligent guy. I'm rooting for Ray Fisher.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like everything that was done to get to that point, but the proof's in the pudding. They have. What if you think it's remedial action? If you think that's just a way to save face, but stuff's happened behind the scenes a little bit.
Yeah, people have been moved and removed, and I'm sure people have gotten a good stern talking to. But yeah, so I mean,
I think Goldman, you popped in on the lounge when you saw Ray Fisher there. That was exciting wasn't that an exciting moment for Enoch?
Awesome.
Of course it is. Yeah, I mean, again, just because I'm not a big DC fan, I don't really care. I still get excited when I know other people are really excited and happy about something. So I don't know, just seeing that made me happy. So I was like, wow, we actually got Ray Fisher on there, and I know that means a lot to Enoch.
Yeah, but I appreciate your kind words there too. It was a great moment. I got to ask him a quick question. I was happy.
Yeah.
Andrew, where can we find you? You have a channel.
Yes, that's true. Thank you for subscribing, by the way.
Yeah, I did sub.
Yeah, my logo is Toby Spider-Man.
Yeah, I like Toby.
Hell yeah, love Toby.
You can find me there and on Twitter.
All right, cool. And Goldman, you don't need anyone's help. You're doing fine on YouTube. You got a lot of traction.
Yeah, that's great. He's in Spider-Man 3.
I saw all kinds of people covering that video. I'm like, whoa.
Which one?
Ray is not a Mary Sue, I think.
Oh yeah, my magnum opus, which still gets a lot of
it still does.
You know, yeah, it's funny. A lot of people did like reaction streams to that video, and I was shocked.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm happy with it.
No, I agree with you, honestly. Like, she's really not, but okay.
Occasionally, I'll check the comments, and people are still like really like fighting about it, which is good for me because, you know, the more comments helps with the algorithms. I'm like, good, but yeah, I things are good. Things are good.
Yeah, Star Wars is on the right track now.
Yeah.
I agree. All right, so that's where we're going to end it because I don't want to keep. It's also it's still the holidays season. People got family stuff to do. I appreciate you all stopping in, and bye, audience. Bye.